Tony is here, and that's exciting because we can talk to him about his domination of Heat Camp yesterday. Roy, did Zaslow sort of snorting
Can someone tell me?
Did Zaslow snorting in snot end up on
Yes.
air as they were? I thought you say, did someone tell you? But I heard 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the sound of you snorting in snot.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been sitting here with my headphones on, and for some reason the volume was completely turned down. How am I supposed to know?
Well, you can ask. You can test your.
Can ask what? Roy says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm expecting to hear that, but I didn't hear anything because my volume was turned all the way down, and then I'm an asshole because I sniffed really aggressively right into the mic.
Unprofessional.
Yeah.
So Tony is here fresh off his domination of Heat Camp, and I was expecting to see him. The one I wasn't expecting to see was Greg Cody. I thought you were doing penalty kicks today. Why are you here?
There was a snafu involved. I had to insist that it be postponed or canceled. It just wasn't being presented in the way that I expected. It was not a regulation-sized goal they were planning to use. It was the kind of goal my great, wonderful granddaughter would use in her 8-year-old league, and that's just unacceptable. And the other thing is, catch this, no goalkeeper. So I'm kicking penalty kicks against a cardboard cutout or against the invisible man. It's like going to a darts tournament and they get everything but the dartboards. So through no one's fault, I'm not blaming anybody, but we just couldn't go on with the show.
I'm proud of Greg because he's a sportsman and he doesn't want to be patronized out there. We promised he'd go up against a goalkeeper of a certain level of skill.
Yes, college keeper, I was told.
And you give him a little kitty net and no goalkeeper? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a waste of the man's time.
Insulting, quite frankly.
All right, so it's been postponed. We've only had, I'm going to say, 15 years to prepare for a goalkeeping challenge between Stugat still owes one of those and Greg. And
he's getting around to it.
And we have yet been able to execute a single one. I actually texted him this morning asking him where he was, Stugatz, on the goalkeeping challenge that he owes us. That was this morning. I sent that text asking him, let's try and get that done soon, shall we? Because what are the things that Stugatz owes in terms of payments? Because he owes he
owes about 50 shows.
The freestyle rap that he's supposed to do on the stage of the Clevelander. And this goalkeeping challenge. It shouldn't be this hard to do a goalkeeping challenge. I don't think you're going to. I saw, Greg, I'm going to show the audience today the one example that we have of you trying. And the reason we went no goalkeepers because of the one attempt you took was so bad that a goalkeeper would not have been required. You would have been 0 for 1 if no one had been in the net at all. And if the net had been twice as long, you would have been 0 for 1.
Everybody makes a bad shot once in a while, even the greats. You think Lionel Messi makes every penalty kick? We've seen otherwise just in this World Cup. Not that I'm comparing myself to Messi.
You did just. That is exactly what you just did. You brought up the comparison to say not that I'm comparing myself to him.
You know what? This is a lesson for me to never assume anything, because I might have assumed that a prerequisite of a penalty kick challenge would have been a goalkeeper in the net. I assumed that. I was totally wrong.
I want to start the show with Tony's update on all things from Heat Camp, please.
Ball is back, Jack. The beautiful game is on a roll, and we'll have an eye on every goal, shouting magisterial. No need to back down. Just park the bus, stop the attack. With the hand of God, put your header back on track. Football is back, Jack. Mbappe's flying through the air. Ronaldo's here for one last prayer. Will Messi come out to play? Or is it victory for the USA? It's corner kicks when the box is packed. That's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. The time is here, open the gates. The long wait is over, so we'll yell, let's go States. No need to back down. Just strike the ball, start the attack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
All right, as you guys know, we're just over in Las Vegas. Summer League is in full effect. The entire NBA world is there. Coaches, agents, scouts, players, everybody. I was smoozing a little bit, and I was able to finally get my first invite into Heat Camp. So we're going to try and make the team. There's basketball being played behind us. People just got invited. People are trying to make the roster. Let's go see if we can do it.
Just like we do, it's company policy. You ready to ball out?
Ready, bro.
All right, man. If I see you slacking off, dude, we're running suicides all day.
I'm going to be ready to hit the paint. Let's go, baby. All right, let's do it.
Any phones that you have in camp, you can use them during a break or lunch. You can't use them during activity. When we play 5-on-5, we have to play 4-on-4. There's no reason why they cherish it as a shower. We don't go feel like a pass, feel like a pass. Practice makes perfect. If you practice, what you're going to do on court.
All right, let's get ready to get some warm-up going. Now you get my shots up. I'm here with the one and only, the coach, Tony Fiorentino. Coach, you've been doing Heat Camp for how long now?
Since 1989. When Pat Riley came in 95, he wanted to have a Miami Heat camp. So we started in 96 with the Miami Heat camp.
Can you just talk about what you guys do for the kids?
Well, you know, we teach a lot of basketball skills and life skills. It's easy for me to draw parallels for them with the Miami Heat culture. The way they play for each other, they never point fingers. Pat Riley never gets enough credit. He always gets credit for the kind of players he brings here, but really good people. They don't point fingers when they lose. They take all the responsibility. Some of the same things that we teach the kids.
Well, Coach, this is a legacy camp, right? Like, you've had parents come that brought their kids, and now you told me you're waiting for the grandparents.
Grandparents are telling me he came to camp. Getting close.
We're getting close.
As my hair gets whiter.
Coach, you do an incredible job.
Tony.
Thank you so much for what
You
you
got
do
a
for the
great
community.
name, Tony.
Thank you. I like your name.
There you go.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Nice.
He's doing okay. He's holding his own. He's doing okay so far.
Oh, he's doing okay. My son is a bit better, but he's learning. He's tall enough, but he's a bit slow, but he can improve.
Perfect. That was beautiful right there. You're probably the best out of the crew.
I think so.
What, you're only 12?
I'm trying out for the Heat
Hello.
in 10 years.
My favorite thing about this class is I like to enjoy my careers. But these are all my careers. Football, these are all my careers. Dancing, drawing, basketball, hip-hop, one of them. Yeah, my dad.
She's lying. Your dad is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All right, Coach, what do you think? How do you feel about our chances today? Who are we playing, the Celtics?
Yeah.
What do you think?
We got him back.
This is the game plans, the keys to the game, if you will, for first game, Sixers versus Celtics. Those pesky Celtics, who want to eliminate them. All right, told me stop their guard. They got a good little guard on that team. We got to make sure that we stop them. Obviously, I'm anchoring the 2-3 on the backside. Have to swat them. Figure out who you have on defense. They told me at this age range, around 8, it's really hard for them to grasp who they have on defense. Who's got who? Who's got who? It's usually get the guy that's got you, but then they start looking for other guys. Now I'm guarding you, and he's playing center. But then you got to step up and protect my rim. We got to guard that. So we got to figure out who you have on defense, stay with them. And the last one, fill the paint, make them shoot. You hustled. I like that. Grab that. There you go. Take off. Look up. Grab that board. Put it up. Yes, sir. Kids still can't shoot at this age. Obviously, I can. You'll see that. But we got to force them to stay out of the paint. I'll be blocking everything. Force them to shoot. Those are the keys to the game right now. Hopefully, we can get this dub against the Celtics. Tamieda.
He's holding his own. He's doing okay so far.
At the end of the week, he's going to do it better.
There's no joke out there.
I will begin today's proceedings by reminding you that the President of the United States paid more than $5 million yesterday to another one of his rape victims. Let's move on.
Do that off the back of my video there?
Yeah,
What happened?
God, I thought that was
That's when
really
you decided
funny.
to do that. You couldn't do that.
Better be careful with how you're phrasing that.
In 3 hours.
One, like,
Non sequitur.
What is another one?
another one that's a civil court. Civil court.
France and Spain yesterday. Watching France not be able to get a shot on goal until the 82nd minute was totally crazy after seeing the tournament. And what we got from Zaz last week when he was legitimately surprised that Spain had not allowed a goal in the entire tournament and that their streak of smothering people goes back to the last World Cup reminds us yet again, we do not talk nearly enough about defense in sports, period. We fall in love with offense, and last night's baseball all-star game reminds you yet again of the importance of just being able to prevent people who are very good at offense from doing anything. I don't think anybody watches an all-star game of any kind to watch their favorite players swing and miss all the time. But the pitchers have gotten too good, and the evolution of the sport is such that I don't even understand what I'm watching when a dude's throwing 105 miles an hour as a starting pitcher. Like, that's not something I've ever seen before. But let's talk for a second about what happened to France yesterday, because what happened to them was Spain. And it's just crazy to me that immediately after the game, Mbappe starts complaining about what their strategy was. But of course he is. Who do you think is going to get blamed for France not getting a shot until the 82nd minute? And so when you talk about the idea of in sports, we don't point fingers. We are accountable. I don't think that's human nature. I think you're teaching something in sports that runs contrary to human nature, that it is the most normal thing in the world that if Mbappe's expected to be great on the world stage and they don't get a shot until the 82nd minute, he's going to find a reason for that. That's not him.
Right. Yeah, this was the most free-flowing, exciting offense in the World Cup for me, France was, and they were constipated by Spain's defense emanating from the midfield.
Spain was Imodium. Is Imodium the constipator? Imodium constipates,
It
right?
stops you from having diarrhea, which is important now.
I take Imodium.
Okay. All right. There you go. Yeah, I've used Imodium. That's good.
Put it on the poll. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you use Imodium often? And also put it on the poll. Was Spain Imodium to France?
Yeah, I use it recreationally. I just enjoy the flavor. The 5 seconds that expressed France's frustration was very late in the game, around the 87th minute, when Mbappe got a yellow card for mugging the other goalkeeper. And that told you all you needed to know about the frustration level of Mbappe. Spain was brilliant. It's easy to say, oh, France was a no-show. They disappeared. Spain did that.
Okay, so I'm watching the whole game on mute yesterday because I was on ESPN yesterday afternoon. But I'm wondering, how much of a game changer was the penalty in the first half? Because with Spain only allowing 1 goal the entire World Cup, it's like, man, they're up 1-0 now in the 23rd minute or something like that. Seemed enormous. And again, I'm watching without sound on, and it seemed like a questionable penalty to me. Like Yamal is able to just get in the way of a player who's trying to make a play on the ball, and if you get kicked, it's a penalty?
That's not questionable, but it wouldn't have changed the game at all. I'm going to say it again. France didn't get a shot on goal until the 82nd minute. France did nothing in that game.
The only way it changed the game was Spain got their goal earlier.
Yeah.
But Spain was kicking their ass.
Yeah.
And Mbappe, obviously from being one of the greatest, if not the single greatest attacking threat ever in the history of the Men's World Cup, he's going to get all the attention. And because of his reputation, his quotes are going to be totally magnified because he's been, perceived as a problem in places that he goes. He leaves PSG, and all of a sudden PSG goes on their incredible run. It's not really going great for him at Real Madrid, despite his international resume. But that midfield dominated France. Olise had 5 assists in this tournament. Olise is dynamite in the midfield. They choked that midfield out. So you saw there was a couple of instances where there were passing lanes, and the Spanish team defensively is so incredible. Guys, the best young player in this tournament belongs to Spain. He's 19 years old. And it's not Lamine Yamal? Are you kidding me? Pau Cubarsí is arguably the best center back on the planet at 19 years old. They have been nemesis for a while now. Crazy that was only Spain's second semifinal in history, but they beat them in the Nations League. They went up 4-0 against France in the Nations League.
They're only so the year they won the World Cup is the other time that it's happened, and that's it. So these are the only 2 times they've ever advanced this far.
Correct. And they're this marquee brand, but their first ever World Cup was in the 2010s with Iniesta's winner against the Netherlands. That was a thorough ass kicking. I was shocked to the level that it happened. I thought that would be a tighter game. I knew it would be difficult for France to pop off the way that they normally do, but France has shown you when they get into rock fights, they find a way. There's an individual moment of brilliance. They got choked out, dude. Cucurella was amazing. Pau was amazing. And Lamine Yamal absolutely destroyed Digne that entire match. And if you'd like to get into why that is a pen and why Digne probably should never appear for France ever again after what Lamine Yamal did to him,
I felt bad
disrespect.
for him. I felt bad for him.
Demonstrating that this was no fluke, that Spain's the real deal. Spain is immediately a big favorite in the championship match, no matter against who. Last time I saw DraftKings, Spain was like minus 155.
Yeah, but they're minus 156 right now because they are slotted in the final. Yeah. And we have pretty much a toss-up match between England and Argentina, which is why they are favored. It's going to be a lot tighter no matter who they play. But I agree, given what we've seen this entire tournament, they should be favored.
Spain will absolutely be favored. I have no question about that.
What are you guys rooting for? Do you guys want the Spanish versus the English, or do you guys want Argentina because of Messi?
I think I want England because we saw Messi so recently, and England with a chance. They're these huge chokers all these years. England with the chance, just the chance to win the World Cup, seems like a massive story.
I just don't love the slowest team in the tournament trying to score goals against Spain, even if they have Messi. If Argentina, it doesn't
at
seem
3
like
o'clock in the afternoon, that could be a tougher watch. I think with you, Dan. I think England probably offers up the more compelling, fun to watch type of matchup between two sides. Argentina, Spain has potential to be really tough at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New Jersey.
I think if I'm trying to look at it neutrally, and I am an admirer of Messi's, there's no question about that. If I'm looking at it neutrally, the best story versus Spain is the country that invented modern football and hasn't won in 60 years. That's the best story for me. That's what I'd like to write if I'm covering it.
I think that Spain was slept on at least a little bit in this tournament because of how they began the tournament.
Dude, Cabo Verde might be a top 10 team in the nation,
awesome,
in the world.
clearly.
Yeah, they're very clearly awesome. No one was able to beat them in regulation. Spain, Cabo Verde drew, and we thought that was one of the greatest results in the history of the World Cup.
0-0.
Yeah,
it's the only game Spain didn't win.
We thought it was fluky. and then Cabo Verde does what it does the rest of the tournament, goes toe-to-toe with the world champs. It's Cabo Verde have an argument to be inside the top 10. That's crazy.
Dan, it's 0-0.
My bad. Thank you for your expertise. The Cody family has been covering soccer for more than half a century in this town, and Chris Cody has learned from his father how to correct novices. But let's correct Zaz here when he's talking about the penalty kick early in the game. So you're basically right on the outside. You're right on the edge of the penalty box, and I was thinking about this as it happened, and I don't want to be, Johnny Newcomer who comes over here and changes the sport, but soccer is our lowest scoring sport by a lot. So the goal is worth more by a lot than any other kind of scoring anywhere else that they're playing games. So the penalty kick, how we complain all the time. You see in American football, you see all the time, everyone's dying, scratching, bleeding about guard every blade of grass, and then a quarterback just lobs up a 50-yard pass and there's contact down the field and you're giving someone half a field, and we're like, that pass interference call, that's too punitive. The penalty kick, if we were doing it in American football terms, what's it worth? What is a goal worth in soccer? Is it worth 2 touchdowns in America?
I think that's fair. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So if a goal is worth 2 or 3 touchdowns, they miss half the penalty kicks in the World Cup. But let's say the goal is worth 2 touchdowns, then the penalty kick is worth what? Because it seems to me that while I understand the premise, obviously, all the games would be 0-0 if you allowed all sorts of contact in the box. Many goals are scored because everyone knows how careful they have to be because of how punitive that is. But that placement of that particular penalty, Mike, even though to me and to the announcers and to everybody, it was an obvious by the rules penalty, the place that it was, there has to be some sort of degrees there in the World Cup because it's right on, not on the line of the rules, but right on the line of the penalty box. And what you're awarding there is essentially 2 American football touchdowns.
But the officials in certainly World Cup soccer, high levels of club soccer, they are discerning. That's a foul any place on the pitch, right? But oftentimes, as we've seen numerous times in this World Cup, if it happens in the box, sometimes the whistle is harder to draw. There is no easier foul to call in that sport when a player leaves his leg exposed. And what happened there is akin to Dwayne Wade having a pump fake and getting an exposed defender in the air and leaning in because his talent was able to do that. Digne made that happen with his misplay. He absolutely messed that clearance up. He did not account, as was the story for the rest of the match, by the way, for Lamine Yamal's pace, for his effort. Lamine Yamal sees Digne, absolutely messed that ball up, charges in. He has his leg exposed. Lamine Yamal has every right to that ball. The exposed leg is blocking his path. Yes, is it a heady play by Lamine Yamal? Could he avoid him and go around him? That's not the quickest path to the ball. This guy made the mistake. That is a great job by Lamine Yamal. It is an easy penalty to call.
Okay, so I'm not disputing it. I just needed it explained to me. But when I first saw it and I'm watching the replay and they're debating whether or not they're going to actually give a penalty here, to me, it didn't look like Lamine Yamal was making a play on the ball. It looked like he was making a play on the leg.
That's a skill, but that's a skill.
But he identifies that. He identifies that. Yes, was he trying to get the ball? No. His job is to make the optics look like he's trying to get to the ball.
And that's worth a penalty?
He's trying to get to the leg.
Like, I understand it's worth a foul.
Yes,
but we're in the box here.
It's equal parts Lamine Yamal's athleticism, awareness. Lamine Yamal was dynamite, 19 years old, and he's talked about as a future. We've already seen him in Euro. He's already the number 10 for Barcelona. A 19-year-old as a top 5 player on the planet is crazy. But also, Digne, he messed that up. That happens. Digne, to me, is not a world-class back to be playing on the French national team. It was always one of their weak spots, and Lamine Yamal knew that. And I thought Spain and their manager absolutely ate up France.
So how is this going to be covered worldwide? Because I do believe that Spain happened to France, but this is fairly stunning to me. When you look at the metrics on this, France hasn't played that bad a game in terms of expected goal rate since 1966. Like that's a half a century. What was clearly the best team in the tournament going into that game played its worst game in half a century in terms of they had no chances to score. Mbappe is the best there's ever been at scoring goals in this tournament, and there was nothing in that game for him. So when you do the first takeization of how this stuff is covered, is this going to be something where Spain gets the credit, or because of how France lost, people are going to say that's a no-show performance by France?
Yeah, I think France is going to get too much criticism because of that. People are going to be unwilling to credit Spain with how they dominated that game defensively, and we should be talking about France as a dynasty right now. They won the World Cup in 18. They barely lost in the final in 22. They were the favorite to win in 26. It's a monumental disappointment in France right now. I mean, there's just no excuse for it.
I just don't think that anybody other than the people who are in the weeds on soccer is talking about defensive midfield play, like when you can celebrate all the stars in this tournament.
It takes a while. It took me a long time to kind of identify that because it's hard to pick up on television. It was only until Chelsea got N'Golo Kante, who for my money, at least for my generation, is the single greatest defensive midfielder ever, that you see what a defensive mid that is stout does to a match, and it's hard to tell when passes are not being played. Sure, everyone can identify a tackle. Everyone can identify a deflection, but it's the passes they do not play. It's completely neutering and choking out that midfield that makes plenty of aggressive lead passes. The fact that they're not being played shows you what Rodri, who I thought got off to a bad start in this tournament, and Fabian Ruiz, who at one point got benched. Fabian Ruiz is undefeated in a Spanish national team shirt. And he's not one of the headline stars. He plays for PSG, but I believe he's 48-0 wearing that national team shirt. There are players that aren't necessarily getting the headlines that are huge in terms of getting as big as getting that result as Lamine Yamal is.
I don't mean to nitpick, but I could argue that golf is the lowest scoring game. Rory won the Masters at -12.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Lower scoring game, soccer or golf? To Mike's point of...
that makes no sense what he just said.
Well, he just did -12.
Yeah, negative points.
No,
that makes all the sense.
You know how negatives works, as?
No, but that's
less than zero.
That's his score.
You're a fool.
Was 70-something.
He made it a solid point.
No, it's a terrible point.
No, it's
what was
minus.
his score for the round?
You're an idiot.
-4?
Did Mike make a terrible point when he said Rodri started the tournament slow, even though since 1966, no player has completed more passes in a World Cup?
Yeah, I thought he was bad to start this tournament. There were times that I'm like, man, he's gotten old. And part of that was I didn't realize how good Cabo Verde was. But Rodri, over these last few matches, has certainly found his form. That midfield is incredible. And it's not something that your eyes are drawn to. But I was stunned to the extent, because France has so many attacking weapons. It's as loaded a team on the international level as I can remember, probably since France at the turn of the century. And they just got choked out. And this is a trend. Spain has their number. And with two 19-year-olds, Spain's here for a while, dude.
To that point, Lamine Yamal, to the point he just made, and against Mbappe in elimination games, 6-0. He's 19. I mean,
It's going to be a great rivalry in La Liga.
There was one play, and they're showing the replay, and it's Yamal, Lamine Yamal, and Mbappe are just running stride for stride, chasing the ball.
Yeah, goosebumps.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
cool.
He's 19, and he's like being super physical.
He should have been carded
with Mbappe.
Yeah, he should have been.
That tackle from the back
Oh
was
my God.
pretty dirty.
Yeah, it should have been a yellow. Easy.
The term nitpicking originates from the literal painstaking process of removing nits, or head lice eggs, from human hair.
It's disgusting. You ever have lice, Dan?
I have never had lice. Have any of you ever had lice?
lice when I
Yeah,
was
I've had
younger.
lice. Yeah.
We've got
You had lice?
two
Yeah.
lice
He had hair
havers.
before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's get to some video here. I'm just going to show people who are disappointed right now, and this rare. It's rare that Greg Cody is here and people are disappointed, but they must be disappointed today because we promised them a penalty kick challenge that has been 15 years in the making, and we have not successfully been able to execute it. The goal was not regulation. Greg was out there with a tape measure. He did not like it. He did not like the conditions, and so he canceled the event. We will get him involved in the choosing of the next venue. We will get this done at some point, but just so that I don't exclude the audience the way that I did yesterday, there was a video that I sent the group inside of the show, and then you heard their uproarious laughter. So let's show the audience now the video of Greg Cody's practice round against his granddaughter so that the audience can see why it is that I immediately said I believe that Greg Cody will score 0 goals in this challenge.
I'm not getting
Go
that.
get it. That's right. She listens. She jogged away after I said that.
I'm not getting that is what you're
That's what I'm dealing with,
your
an 8-year-old.
granddaughter. Well, but you sent the ball so far wide of the net. Would that have made the goal if the net was twice as large?
No, but if you miss the net on a penalty kick, it doesn't matter whether you miss it by an inch or by that amount.
Disagree.
It's just a miss. That's all it is.
All right.
All the greats miss penalty kicks.
Okay, put it not usually like that though. That's not usually how any of the greats miss a penalty
Kicked
kick.
it towards the corner, like where the corner kick would be done. For the people not watching, he's set up like a normal penalty kick, and the ball goes to where you would kick a corner kick from.
Okay, how about you show a video of me top-footing it at about 100 miles an hour?
We don't have
right
any
on
of that.
target.
And to your point, though, that everyone misses them, Roberto Baggio did miss for Italy a penalty kick not unlike that in
Thank you.
1994.
Thank you.
So it's not exactly off what he's
It was
saying.
quite
Bob
unlike
knows what I'm
that.
doing.
He didn't look anything like that.
Do you see the disappointment in Greg? Where he's got his hands on his hips.
Yeah.
And he's got his head down.
Yes.
He's very ashamed here.
Of course. I expect more of myself.
Look at that.
We didn't make enough of that video yesterday, and we didn't make enough of this video. And for the audio audience, at the risk of exclusion, I'm about to show what I am claiming would go in the Hall of Fame, Tony, for best crossover ever. When I ask you guys the most embarrassing crossover, I'm not asking you who dribbles the best. I'm not asking you, does Iverson or Kyrie Irving have the best crossover? I'm asking you to remember the crossover from your lifetime that has a guy splayed out on screen on defense because he is so juked that he actually falls down. Basketball is filled with these, but I believe that we didn't do enough yesterday with Brad Williams and his correspondent from the Little People Convention in New Orleans, because I believe yesterday we unveiled to Earth what is the greatest crossover in the history of basketball. Tony, you have not seen this. You were not here. You were at Heat Camp, and you couldn't have and didn't do this to any of the kids in that camp, even though you too fancy yourself someone who has quite the crossover.
Yeah, the issue is it's a bit of a slower pace game over at Heat Camp. We're not really running full court like that where we can have the momentum to get somebody crossed over where they end up 16 feet the other way.
So let me play for the audience the entire video, and then I want to slow it down so that people can enjoy. Tony will be seeing this for the first time, so just please, video crew, focus in on Tony as he sees what I'm alleging is the greatest crossover dismantling embarrassment there has ever been in the history of basketball. Tony, have you ever seen a defender have happened to him what happens here to Vern Troyer? I want you to tell me whether you've ever seen a basketball player have this happen to him on defense when someone crosses over.
Here we go.
Okay, crossover. Oh, see, yeah, good jumper on him too.
It's a great looking J.
Yeah,
that was
know
lost in all the discourse yesterday. It's a great looking J.
if it
to
goes
be
in.
fair, if
And a
we
nice
can run it
jersey
back
number 2.
one more time, what he does is not a crossover. Let's be very, very clear. What he does is a jump stop at the three-point line. He doesn't cross him over. He's just stopping his dribble, and the problem is when you flip your hips, Dan, and you're trying to get downhill, it's really hard for you to turn back, which is why you
It's
get tripped
semantics.
up.
It's a crossover. Come on.
No, it's not.
He
no,
stops
it's not.
his momentum. Come on. Like, it's the
What
gist.
is a crossover?
It's when you cross it from your right hand to like from
What
hand
does
to
he do?
hand. He
What-
does. I get like you're getting technical here. You're getting a little too technical for me. I get you. I get what you're saying.
He
There's a
stops
jump.
dribbling.
Stop and go.
It never goes hand to
He
hand.
stops dribbling. That's all he does.
It's the same momentum fall that happens with a crossover.
Thank you for that distinction, Chris. It neuters your previous criticism, which is that you didn't like the camera work or the camera angles from the Little People Convention basketball game. You didn't feel like it met your broadcast standards because they didn't show whether the jump shot was completed or not.
That is a good point, though.
It's just Brad Williams on his phone. It's not we don't have a broadcast network out there. We don't have somebody out there covering those games as if it's on ESPN Unlimited.
Why not? Trying to be difficult, gentle with this, but this is not. Brad is not shooting this video.
Yeah, Dan.
This is just a classic little person
theater
video.
of the mind. I kept trying to. I'm like, man, Dan thinks that Brad took this, and that it's not an old clip that's been seen before.
You have to make a choice.
Tough league.
You can't have both in the picture. If you want the hoop, you're not going to see the person. If you want the person, you can't see the hoop.
Yeah,
Make
can't
a
have
choice.
both.
And I think they made a good choice because we wouldn't be able to see that right there.
His hips up in the air.
You know
Oh,
what?
it's
You
on
know
the
what he's
side,
doing?
man.
It's that rule in the NFL where when you tackle the quarterback, you got to do like that, like the swim move. That's what that is right there. That's how a D tackle is supposed to sack the quarterback. You got to do that swim move.
Or like the worm. He's about to start doing the worm.
Yeah.
Mid-worm.
That is what that looks
It's like the front part of the worm. You know what I mean?
Can we examine for a second? Can we dissect?
Can you imagine just showing someone that still? What is going on in this picture?
Breakdancing, the worm.
Can we dissect for a second what Tracy McGrady has said about Giannis Antetokounmpo? He says he is a 1A. Basically, Tracy McGrady, Roy, find me the sound of Chris Whittingham and what he said the year that Giannis won the championship about Giannis not being a closer, Giannis not being someone you can trust at the end of games. Tracy McGrady is basically saying flatly, Giannis will get you through the first three quarters, but he's not giving you what you need in the fourth quarter. And the Milwaukee Bucks did need everything that Chris Middleton was doing for them late in games. And I would say further, the Miami Heat at present doesn't have that closer. But let's play the Whittingham sound of what he says about Giannis, because it's not unlike what Tracy McGrady is now saying.
Giannis is probably the NBA's best number 2. Because I think it's kind of been determined that he can't be your 1. And like in terms of his specific skill set and the areas of the game in which he struggles, you can't rely upon him to get baskets at the end.
And again, Giannis immediately won the championship right after that. But it is going to be a criticism that the Heat get. What Tyler Hero did in the DMs that I think got Bam Adebayo the angriest, you tell me if there was something worse than what I'm about to say, Zaz, is that he put in his exchange with that fan who betrayed him the percentages that both Giannis and Bam had in their mid-range games, and that's obviously Tyler Hero's specialty. And so what the Heat were losing in the mid-range game, even though it's the least efficient shot in the sport right now, is that Tyler Hero does that very well, and the Heat's two best players do that very poorly, and he pointed it out statistically. Is that not the most offensive thing you saw in the DMs, or the things that Bam could get indignant about?
Well, first, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that graphic was in the DMs. I think he straight up posted that graphic publicly.
That's correct. That was a public post on his Instagram account.
So
not his main one, but the one we know to be him.
Yeah, so that is quite offensive, where it's like, I'm not even going to hide this. I want everyone to see Bam's not good.
I know a little bit more about what led to this altercation.
Happen to know?
Yeah, and talking to some well-placed sources that are familiar with the basketball players here, it was that was the original sin. But Bam had reached out to Tyler directly prior to them meeting face-to-face in Las Vegas, and Tyler ghosted him. So while that was the original sin, the additional disrespect was Bam confronted Tyler about it, and Tyler kind of ghosted him. And then I happen to know that Bam, when he approached Tyler, and Tyler was there, I know their details, AAU, Tyler had a crew with him. I think Tyler's dad was with him from what I heard as well. Bam approached him about not just the DMs, but why he had disrespected him and not getting back to him.
He happens to know.
So the fan told the Miami Herald that the graphic about the mid-range percentage is what spurred him, the fan, to release everything. Jeremy is in hot pursuit of said fan. We will try and get him on the show either today or tomorrow to talk to him about that. But what about McGrady's criticisms? As I think it's a common one, and I don't think it's an unfair one. Giannis, at the end of games, you're not going to have a whole lot of shot creation that he can do that much on his own when everything is geared around stopping someone from getting a good shot the last few seconds of the game.
I think it's completely fair. Now, I don't think it's as simple as, all right, he can't do it. Like, we've seen that he can do it. You had Game 6 in the finals where he scored 50 points. But I would mention there a major reason why Giannis was able to do that and close out that game. He was very uncharacteristically amazing from the free throw line that game. Like, he was hitting all of his he was like 15 of 16 or something like that. And that'll probably never happen again in his life because he's not a great free throw shooter. And we've seen plenty of times. We saw it in the 21 playoffs. We saw it in the 23 playoffs. Giannis was kind of a spaz at the end of the games. The game was tight and like he's trying to make the play. He's a little bit of a spaz. So not that he can't do it, but I think McGrady is making a very fair point there. I do.
And who was guarding him in those games?
Yeah, it was great. Spoelstra has probably been the
one
best.
guy that can stop Giannis is on his own team now.
Yes, that is true. But based on what we've seen, what I said is not an unfair thing to point out.
I'll take 3/4 of greatness and get somebody else who can be your
Nobody's
go-to
not.
guy.
No one's not.
But who's that going to be?
LeBron
Because
James.
it's an issue. And Jeremy, I thought you've gone back and forth on this. Where are you on LeBron James, Jeremy? Are they going to get him or are they not going to get him?
I'm feeling confident
I'm
again.
I'm tired of your texts. No, but I'm tired of this. You go every 12 hours, you feel something different. I'm feeling confident. I'm not feeling confident. Now you're feeling confident, but why didn't you feel confident 12 hours ago? I'm getting tweets. I'm getting texts in the middle of the night about now I'm not confident anymore.
Well, I'm confident because LeBron posted some ESPN person, I don't even know who this guy is, to his Instagram story saying that he felt that the Heat would be irrelevant.
Oh, this was
and
Rich Eisen's
still in
show.
the play-in. It was on Rich Eisen's show. I just don't know who this person
It's a producer.
is. Okay, it's one of the producers on the Rich Eisen show. And LeBron,
Can't believe they let producers talk.
it's crazy. And he posted this criticism with a bunch of laughing emojis on top of it, which I just found very interesting because he said the Heat would be in the play-in even if LeBron was there. And now LeBron is specifically pointing out the Miami Heat. How dare you say that I would be in the play-in with this team, with Giannis? Laughing emojis signaling the Heat.
Goes to Miami. Enjoy the play-in tournament.
So you don't believe they're going to be in the play-in tournament if LeBron James is on it?
With Giannis. LeBron is going to be a non-factor this season. I think everyone needs to ready themselves.
How is 21 points a
Honestly,
game a non-factor?
What kind of idiot lets the producers talk?
I'm not getting that.
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
You should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
Hoo-ah! But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APAC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No, you're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's A Few
That's
Good
the one I
Men,
bought.
and that's A Few Good
brutal.
Men.
Good answer. Good answer.
And it's not, you're not man enough to know the truth.
you can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
That's it's a different movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-libbed. They
Put
kept
it on the poll
that
at
was
Le
Nicholson.
Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who
Dad
said
on a hot
in
tin
what
roof.
movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think
Yes.
he won an Oscar
Yes, he
for
won
this.
Best Actor.
Yes.
Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Put it on the
Raging
poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
Raging
No.
It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in a dolphin.
I say it all the time.
No, but it's been for 30 years. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to tell him what the movie is. Keep guessing, Greg. Keep trying to guess what the Al Pacino movie. How many Oscars has Pacino won? Because he
A Few Good Men.
you already guessed that, and we already told you that it's not A Few Good Men.
Okay.
And you're not man enough to handle the truth.
Right. Okay.
Classic line.
It's got a military theme to it. I just can't come up with a
It's
name.
not a military theme, but I think he's a former military guy.
Okay, Dad.
He was a colonel.
There you go.
Patton.
Colonel Sanders. I don't know. I'm never going to get it. I don't know movies.
Wow, it's his only Academy Award.
The
Greg doesn't know
Scent
movies.
of a
Woman. See? I told you I was going to get it.
Your son had no idea where that sound
Where I
was
get it
from.
from.
This is
really?
2 generations of idiot. Pop
No.
culture idiot.
I knew it was Al Pacino.
Greg, you cannot listen
said
to
De
what you
Niro.
just did for the last 4 minutes and say that that is some sort of expertise that you're bragging about.
First of all, I speak for moviegoers in general. Al Pacino and De Niro are always interchangeable. They're always mistaken for each other. They're the same person.
De Niro could not have been the devil.
They've won the same awards. They're like the same people.
They were only in one scene together, like in their movie careers.
I know, but they're parallel lives. And you know it.
Put it on the poll. Do you often confuse De Niro and Pacino, and you know it? At Le
And you
Batard
know it.
Show.
You're going to have to wait for that one.
Exactly.
That was staggering. Even by the standards of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, where your son Michael asks you movie questions and you flail and fail and get them all wrong. Even by those standards, that was an amazing amount of ignorance.
Nick.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I have known Greg Cody almost as long as Chris Cody has known Greg Cody. And I do not have a lot of recollections in my past of your father, Chris, feeling something that resembles remorse. But for the last 24 hours, he has felt a genuine remorse that has caught me off guard about what I now believe to be a genuine catchphrase countdown controversy, because he left here yesterday. He must have said it to me 4 or 5 times. Your dad can get obsessive compulsive about certain things and just start ticking on them. Must have said to me 4 or 5 times yesterday, can you tell Zaz that I was just doing a bit by taking his catchphrase, not the first one, not the first one. The first one is not a bit. The first one, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey.
That is, Greg thinks that's his. But what he did yesterday, what he did purposely to bother you.
That's what I said yesterday.
That's right. And he played it off as if he didn't. So we now got, was that number 18 or number 17?
Number 18 was take a Lobo's mint and put it on your pillow and dream big.
Of course.
And 17 was, what did he say? But it wasn't really.
That's literally what I said yesterday. That I knew your first one that you stole from me.
I didn't steal the first one.
Yeah, you
It's
did.
totally
You
different.
stole it, okay? subconsciously. Like, you heard me say it's like a comedian where, I got this great bit. No, you heard it somewhere else, and now you think it's yours. That is what happened.
I've been saying that's what I'm talking about my whole life. That's
You
not-
haven't
So
been
have
saying
I.
it like that. That's
So
not
have
how
I.
respect your...
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. You stole it from me subconsciously.
Okay, you say it angrily.
Okay.
I say it joyously.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. I know you took
Why
that.
so angry?
Watch your tone.
I know you took that subconsciously. And I also know, I said it yesterday, you were effing with me by taking, what do you say? I knew that. I said that.
So, yes, you were right. Greg was wrong. He felt bad about that immorality. And so now there is a new number 17.
Right.
But the controversy, or the mushrooming controversy, is he won't tell us what it is here. He says you have to go to the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. If you want to hear what is the new number 17.
And it's a good one.
Yeah.
Did you give that on your show on Monday?
Yes.
The real one.
The Greg Cody Show audience was aware that we were going to mess with you yesterday. It was a little inside joke
I knew
for
it.
that audience.
So why, if it's already on yours, why can't we have it here? What?
Oh, it's a good one, too. The real number 17,
Greg,
it's a good one.
Greg, give us number 17 here. You felt bad about it. You did something bad to Zaz. It was an immorality. You denied when he accused you of it.
You're a liar.
That it was a bit. You bothered me 4 or 5 times with it. Number 17 is already on the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. It's already been released. Give us number 17 here. You can't tease me the way Chris is teasing me, saying it's a good one. We're getting into the greatest of all the things you've ever invented in 70 years on this earth. We're getting into the prime terrain.
Right.
This is the end of the fireworks show. This is when you throw off all of the explosions. We're in our 3rd or 4th time approaching the top 10. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time we've given you number 17. Give us this 17, please, because Chris can't tease me that way.
Typhoon.
Be careful. Be careful what your next phrase is, all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. You want number 17?
Please.
Typhoon.
I can't even.
Yeah, I've heard him say that all the time.
He's been thinking it.
You're making me so mad. You're making me so mad right now. You better say a different one, okay? Let's just.
Typhoon.
I don't know why you're saying it like that.
Hey, typhoon.
That sounds like a hungry ghost.
A bit of a ghastly typhoon thing there, right?
A haunted.
Dan Marino.
A haunted ghost. Typhoon.
He sounds like Zool from Ghostbusters. That's Zool.
Chris, are you going to give me number 17? He's not going to give me number 17. Don't make me.
He's giving me a death stare right
It should
now.
come authentically out from your mouth.
Legit. I'll give it to you. Okay, 18, of course, put a Lobos mint under your pillow and dream
Of course.
big. The alternate to that is put a Lobos mint under your pillow and dream.
This
Either
is Yeti and I
acceptable.
correcting him. The saying has always been dream big, but on the show, Greg Cody show, he goes, put a Lobo mint under your pillow and dream. And Yeti and I were like, it's dream big. And so he's acting now like dream has always been a thing.
He got his catchphrase wrong.
Correct.
No, I'm the
We
inventor.
corrected him, and he's like, no, it's both.
There
And
are
it's not.
No, there are certain catchphrases that have A and B. You know, either is fine. 1A.
I don't think that's in any way true.
It is true because I said it so.
Okay.
And I'm the catchphrase countdown king.
Okay. And so give us number 17.
Number
please.
17. Quite a bit.
My entire life. I mean, that is just. I thought it'd be a top 10er. It was a top 10er until a month ago.
Right. It would have been in previous incarnations. It would have been, but the list keeps expanding, and so
I gotta say, in the 20+ years of this show, and it's not even something that we created. We're clearly ripping off Greg's podcast here, but this is just dynamite.
it's really great. Zaz, I was wondering how you took the news as somebody who can be precious about radio things. The news that Howard Stern is laying off 12 employees because Howard Stern is about to move into the phase of what's left of his career where he's doing one show a week. Now, I'm assuming that he's still going to take the summers off. So Howard Stern is basically going to do 30 or 40 shows a year. And this might as well be quitting quietly while staying, contractually tied to what it is your library produces for satellite radio. It can be argued that Howard Stern is the reason satellite radio exists. It can be argued that he was first to the idea of some form of streaming. Long before it was popular, he just took his audience with him and put it behind a paywall and allowed satellite radio to be all of the things that satellite radio became. But the idea that he's doing one show a week to his fans must be something that hurts because they're already mad that he takes the entire summer off. But this is the king doing whatever the king wants, whenever and however he wants, because no one's ever had this deal in the history of media where he basically works whenever the bleep he pleases, and it's not very much.
You may remember it was a year ago also when he was taking his summer off where it was thought that he's being pushed out. And then when he came back, it was this whole... none of that stuff was true. I just signed a new deal, and I don't know if pushed out would be the word that I would use, but clearly this is getting close to the end. I mean, look, I'm a huge admirer of Howard Stern. I listened to him every day for about 25 years. I started when I was 15 years old. I would have my little radio on the school bus with the headphone in, and I would listen every morning. My father introduced me to Howard Stern, and then I started listening on my own. I stopped about 5 years ago. From every single day I listen, I stopped about 5 years ago because the show just changed, and it wasn't for me anymore. And he changed, and that's okay. So
It's going around.
So for me, I like that was kind of the end for me. But this really feels like we're getting to the end. He's in his 70s. And now we're just one show a day. So it's
a week.
One show a week. It's a really huge deal. I mean, he's in the conversation of top 2 or 3 greatest radio hosts of all time, no matter the format.
Well, I think you have to put it at the top.
Yeah.
I don't think it's top 2 or 3. I think it's the very top. I don't know.
No matter the format.
I don't know who I'd put next to him in terms of groundbreaking on creating the different intimate community that specifically radio is, and then transition before anyone else into turning a radio show into a video product that was then that helped E-Entertainment Television become more popular because all of a sudden his product was video. He is older, but I don't know that I can cite any radio pioneer that has a bigger name associated with the product of radio than Howard Stern. I don't know who would be a close second.
Yeah, I mean, he really is the king of all media. Like you said, he made the E! Channel because they put a radio show on television. He likely saved satellite radio, helping Sirius and XM merge and become Sirius XM radio. Number one in books, number one movie when it came out. And, of course, for very many years, the number one radio show. You're right. King of all media, probably the greatest of all time.
I love Howard Stern. I think he's great, and I think he deserves to do this. He's older than me, which is a mind blower because he looks like he's 15 years younger than me. But Howard Stern does. Congratulations, Howard Stern, for cutting back to 1 day a week. Le Batard over here is jealous. He wishes he could only do work 1 day a week.
No, I like what we do.
Yeah,
I like what we do around here. I love working. I've always loved working. I don't want to be doing one show a week. That's 30 shows a year if you take the entire summer off.
But I think, as someone who does one podcast a week,
it's a lot, right, Dad?
It's a lot. Like I am.
And yours is how long?
Like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, give or take.
Travis Kelce calls podcasting the hardest job in the world.
Well, that may be hyperbole, but
I mean, the one he has is pretty difficult.
Right. No, good for Howard is my point, and I think his fans are going to flock to him once a week. I don't think he's going to lose anybody. If anything, they're going to miss him for 4 days a week, and then they're going to really look forward to that 1 day that he's broadcasting.
I do wonder because, like I said, the show lost me about 5 years ago, and I was every day, 25 years. I do wonder what the audience is like nowadays. Like, you may remember here locally, all right? Like, Neil Rogers is a local icon. All right, was the greatest for a very long time.
Yeah, Uncle Neil.
And then our rating system changed very late in his career, which was a little bit more of an accurate rating system as opposed to the diary where you write down what you listen to. It actually tracked what you were listening to with an electronic device. And we learned no one was listening to Neil Rogers at the end.
It actually killed him.
Yeah, so I do wonder what his audience is like now.
Mike Ryan meant that literally, incidentally. He's not talking about the killing of Neil Rogers' career. He's talking about Neil Rogers soon thereafter ended up dying when it was revealed that the measurement system was flawed. But to Zaz's point, we had a chance 5 years ago with a very good offer from satellite radio that was trying to get somewhat younger than Howard Stern and Mad Dog, and it was among our choices before we chose DraftKings. And I did not want to test the loyalty of our audience by putting it behind a paywall, no matter how popular that paywall is. And I'll be curious to see how Pardon My Take and Bill Simmons, how all of them end up feeling about the move to Netflix because of the dangers involved of changing something that's this intimate and the patterns of it, changing it so much that you then start charging your fans for something that was free for them. Like, there is a danger in that really tests the loyalty of people. But in this particular case, Howard Stern has made a ton of money doing this, and Sirius Satellite Radio has no regrets about paying him all that money because it worked very well for both parties involved. But I do imagine that Howard Stern feels a little bit like he's shouting into a tin can sometimes now, given what his relevance was as the king of all media. He's not the king of all media anymore, cannot be in the modern age, not possible to be that when you're 70. A reminder again that the President of the United States paid more than $5 million yesterday to another of his alleged rape victims.
All right, language is a little bit better.
The Kawhi Leonard story continues to mutate, and now Adam Silver says that we will not be still having this investigation going on when the season starts. He has also said before, he's been quoted as saying before, as that thing has become a mess where Toronto, that's super weird, okay? Everything that happened there was super weird. Both him being traded out of nowhere to Toronto, and then all of a sudden Toronto saying, well, hold on a second. Let's make sure we know what the ramifications are. I believe this latest reporting might explain what just happened with Toronto after trading, which is there's more than just the aspiration stuff. Allegedly, there's more. Adam Silver said, look, we have to stop this investigation at some point because you can investigate these things forever, and we will not investigate this forever. He has put a deadline on this. It's not even about getting all of the information anymore. He has said the most important thing is ending this before the season starts. Some people have pointed out that 10 months is a ton of time for an investigation. It's a crazy amount of time, but evidently there's more information here, more things happening than just the Pablo Torre reporting. There's evidently other things they've now uncovered once it is that you start digging around in here. My question to the group is, what do you guys consider the biggest cheating sports scandal that there has ever been? Is it Lance Armstrong? Is it baseball and steroids? Because the details when you're reading right now, I don't know if you guys are reading anything about the finances of how Rob Manfred is saying that he doesn't like how the Major League Players Association is framing the idea of a salary cap, and that sport is very obviously going to lock out over the idea of a salary cap. You have the Basketball Players Association saying, hey, this second apron is bullshit. Like, this second apron, this is not what they told us the second apron was going to be. Salary cap is all of these entities, employers and employees, fighting over the money. You don't have another salary cap cheating scandal like the one that engulfs Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer in the history of finances in sports labor. So when it comes to strictly money, this would be the biggest sports cheating scandal around money that there's been, that isn't doping or something else. But what do you guys consider the greatest of the sports scandals? I think Penn State is the greatest of the sports scandals because it involves kids.
Okay, so not cheating necessarily.
No, I'm just making scandals over here, right?
Certainly in America, I think that's big. I mean, Nancy Kerrigan was immense.
No, I think Dan's the winner.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The winner.
In terms of like what happened on the field, Serie A had a huge controversy that saw Juventus stripped of championships, sent down to a lower division, and that was league-wide cheating match fixing.
The 1919 World Series, the Reds and White Sox, gambling. That was a gambling issue, right?
The 0-2 Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yes.
It is hard to disagree with what befell Joe Paterno. I would have to give you that one. But I would say, overarching, I think the baseball steroid scandal, where Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds are all hitting 70 home runs, and we're saying, isn't that great? And then it turns out they all cheated, and it's a big stain on the national pastime.
Now, they were punished, but we don't really know if he had the actual, electric piece on his chest, but Jose Altuve with the Astros, like if we knew if he actually had the thing on his chest, the wire.
Spygate, Deflategate, Bountygate. The NFL does such a great job of making that stuff go away. Not so much Deflategate because we had already had Spygate, but Spygate went away. It was masterful work by the league.
The Lance Armstrong one is big too because it was like he was so staunchly anti-steroids and going after people that did steroids, and you're like, oh, you were doing steroids the whole time?
I'm always so conflicted with Lance Armstrong. Yes, he obviously cheated, and he used his cheating to raise an unbelievable amount of money for cancer research. So, I don't know, it's stupid bike riding. He raised money for cancer research.
What about the other guy who was bike riding who had his life ruined? How about that guy?
I know.
What about the Montreal Screwjob Survivor Series?
That's a big one. 97, Dan?
The thing that's making me laugh about what you guys are saying, because Spygate is the criminal, not the crime. Spygate is the sport, not the crime. It's because football matters so much and because the Patriots were winning the championship. As whatever you think of the definition of cheating, Spygate to me feels like it pales in the face of, what do you mean the world's richest sports owner decided he just wasn't going to pay attention to the salary cap rules? Like, in terms of flagrant, Spygate, I think all NFL coaches are trying to get some kind of spy advantage. I don't think all NBA owners are this flagrantly saying, yeah, I don't care about your rules at all. I'm going to do something so secret over here. The part that, to me, I just don't get why it's not landing more with people. I know Ballmer's super rich. Cheating with tens of millions of dollars? Since when are people okay with that? Tens of millions of dollars allegedly involved with, yeah, Kawhi didn't have to show up for a job. They just offered him. Wouldn't you guys love to have just audio of what those conversations were like? Yeah, not going to go plant trees, don't want to do anything. Just pay me tens of millions of dollars around your rules. To me, it is completely nuts that this scandal doesn't have everyone agitated the same way all those other scandals do. Because as I put this in the class of all those other scandals, people are not talking about it that way. It's at least in part because the rest of the media is not covering it the way that it covered all of those things. It's Pablo Torre covering it over here, but a 10-month investigation is asinine. Like, do you know how much they have to have uncovered by now if they've spent 10 months with a law firm doing this?
How much do you think it's because of a lack of understanding? Like, usually when we talk about cheating, like Spygate, oh, wow, they were recording practices? All right, like, everybody understands what that means. How much is it a lack of understanding? So we're talking about salary cap minutia. Like, do you think that that's part of the reason that there's not this uproar?
I don't, because it's tens of millions of dollars. It's not hard to understand.
I think it's two things from there. I think, one, look at the context of the time. All of those things happened when we were still surprised by scandal. The news cycle of the last decade has really shifted the way that we all look at different types of scandals, whether it's in politics or now sports. And two, they didn't win anything. Look back at every other one of these scandals. Lance Armstrong was a winner. The Astros won the World Series. The Patriots were a team that was perennially winning. And so in turn, fan bases felt cheated. Kawhi and the Clippers have won absolutely nothing. And so people don't feel impacted about it by the same way.
I think that's a very good point.
It is.
It is a very good point. And also,
Good job, Jeremy.
I think a lot of people are withholding their outrage to see what the investigation determines.
Zaz often says Adam Silver is a nothing. There's a lot of financial fair play rules that are skirted over in Europe, in the Premier League. Real Madrid and Barca, big offenders over there. And what happens is all the other clubs get really pissed off because it's unfair. This rule is in place to protect the other teams. What's one thing that you're not hearing around this scandal?
Owners complain.
The other owners.
Yeah.
Adam Silver has that shit buttoned up. Now, we can have theories as to why that is, because all the other owners maybe don't want people looking into stuff like this. But that is what is missing here. You don't have the story being advanced because you don't have other owners complaining to reporters. This is unfair.
Both good points on why those distinctions are being made between the scandals, because it's not just the winning and it's not just that owners aren't giving voice to this. But it's not the only thing. You are letting the entirety of the media off the hook because they didn't need other owners complaining about the Patriots to do Spygate. The Patriots were winning, and so there was jealousy about all of that. But the media doesn't need help to cover scandal. Doesn't need others to provide the content when there is scandal.
But that's what Jeremy said. Like, it's important. The Clippers aren't winning. There were aggrieved parties. Spygate happened in a Super Bowl.
Well, you say the Clippers aren't winning, and I'm going to say that that's a bit relative, okay? The Clippers were a laughing stock franchise my entire lifetime, and what they won is the Kawhi Leonard sweepstakes. And how they won it, when they won it, we were talking about that. Holy shit, that's one of the most seismic things we've ever seen happen in free agency.
They saved the league. Remember, that was the narrative because Kawhi was going to go to the Lakers, and that ruined basketball potentially.
You can't tell me that the Clippers didn't win when the Clippers are better and more of a moneymaker and less of a laughingstock and more relevant than they've ever been, at least in part, because of what they did here, which flouts the rules or flaunts the rules. Is it flouts or flaunts?
It's definitely not flouts.
I've never heard that first word.
I don't even know what you're saying.
I think it's flouts.
It's a weird word.
Flouts. Flouts.
Dan flouts.
Flouts the rules. Flouting the rules means deliberately and openly disobeying or disregarding a law.
Well, I'll pay a fine for not being
Flouts
educated.
the rules.
Thank you for teaching me a word.
God, we're dumb.
Writers, man. That is an awkward hand.
No,
really
no,
is.
it's I'm filled with so much love right now. One ally, they all. You saw the way the
Dorothy Boyd.
You saw the way.
I know.
You
It
saw
is-
the
it is an awkward thing.
No,
No,
I
keep
believe,
holding it.
Okay.
I believe that this is the closest thing that there's been to Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger shaking hands in Predator. I'm
You
sorry,
think that's
Carl
close?
Weathers. Carl Weathers. I'm sorry.
You think that's close? You think that's in the
Yes,
same neighborhood?
I think it's in the
Jesse
same
Ventura.
neighborhood. My bad. It's another. I'm sorry. I'm
That
sorry.
counts as a workout for me, by the way, what we just did.
Double-edged sword. I
Jude
mean,
Bellingham?
Dan gets flouts, and then the Jesse Ventura thing.
It's a mistake.
Dan flouts.
Perhaps you should wind down. Maybe summer's off.
I'm surprised you're this confident after that kind of an embarrassment on your end.
Yeah,
where-
flouts is embarrassing. I've never heard that word before, but I pride myself on being man enough to admit these things.
Jeremy's dap think that look weird.
The idea, though, and I'll move off of this for a second, it is strange to me, the number of qualifiers that we can offer when, man, scandal, media and fans love scandal, any kind of scandal. Give me information on any kind of scandal, no matter how numb we are to it. And I've been mentioning the Trump thing. What has happened would have derailed any other American presidency, just that one act. And there are so many of them that with him, it doesn't even matter. We're sort of numb to scandal. But generally speaking, when it comes to something quite this egregious, like it's never underreported. It's never, I never have the complaint of any media scandal I have seen in sports that involves alleged cheating where I say, surprising to see how little people are covering that.
It's not even the biggest of the year. Sorsby, bigger.
That is the sport, not the crime. Like it's how much we care about the sport or whether or not someone is winning the sport. Because Jeremy's good point, and I'm sorry that the whole group was so surprised by Jeremy making a good point. That's unfair to Jeremy. Applause for a good point.
I was more surprised that it was concise.
I was more surprised that you agreed it was a good point.
Yeah, surprises abound.
I thought you just said little people are covering something.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Brad Williams covered the hell out of that crossover, which was a crossover, no matter how
It was
Tony
not a
plays.
crossover. He just stopped his momentum. He just stopped.
That's a good point.
The results of it were crossover. If I didn't show you what was happening on one side of the ball, that was the offensive side of the ball, and only showed you the defensive side of the ball, you would have said that was a crossover.
Yes, that I agree with.
That you wouldn't have said that was he stopped and took a jump shot. You would have said that he was crossed over.
I think
in a
after
way that
yesterday, Tony's just trying to make sure everyone knows he's got the basketball muscles. Feeling a little insecure.
I dominated heat camp. What are you talking about? What would I feel insecure?
You know what a
dominated.
crossover is? We know. You know.
Tony, you know what you look like among all those kids? You look like Wemby on an NBA court.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Greg, I was trying to sit there and be like, all right, what can I do to be evil Wemby? And then I started blocking little kid shots. And then I got to a point where that's how I know I'm actually a good person at heart, Dan, because I was like, you know what? This doesn't feel right. I can't keep blocking these kids. One kid looked up to me and was like, this isn't fair. And then I told him, life isn't fair, buddy.
There you go. You make anybody cry?
Chicken wing.
You make anybody cry or no?
Tony Fiorentino. Jeremy cried during the All-Star game last night.
I did.
Tony,
Real tears.
Tony Fiorentino did say they're teaching basketball lessons and life lessons.
He's right.
You would have taught them life isn't fair, kid, and we would have had the video of you blocking 8 or 9 shots.
We
by
had that in
eight-year-olds.
the rough cut, so I'm going to try and find those and bring
please,
those up.
Please find all of those. I always think that's funny. Peyton Manning has never done anything funnier than throwing footballs at children. It's the funniest thing. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Has Peyton Manning ever done anything as funny as throwing footballs at children?
I was thinking on the way in here, that trade is on hold, but it's going to go through. Like they're just going to, they'll change the draft picks that are being sent to the Clippers. But what if the punishment from the league is like the Clippers get whatever punishment they get, and Kawhi Leonard's current contract that the Raptors would be trading for is voided because it's an illegal contract? If they wind up doing that, this is a really peculiar situation that Kawhi Leonard would then find himself in because, all right, now he's a free agent, and every team, including the Raptors, doesn't have money to sign him to the money that he wants. Like, Kawhi Leonard, I think we can all agree, is not going to go sign somewhere for the minimum because it's very obvious Kawhi cares very much about his money. What would happen to Kawhi Leonard?
It's one of the many reasons that I'm wondering why it is more people aren't asking questions on this corner and ceding the entirety of it to let's wait until Pablo Torre tells us what's happening here and then we'll know what's happening here. I do feel like there are a whole lot of compromises here in the conflicts between all the partnerships that doesn't allow people to report honestly on this in the way that reporters should and must.
I know you touch on it, but The Athletic yesterday did advance the story a little bit. We got the Groot Kawhi thing. It's hilarious. Yeah, the Aspiration tried to workshop ways to make Kawhi a valid pitchman for it. Okay. So they created a tree-like, Groot-like character for Kawhi. My God, ironically enough, Groot speaks more than Kawhi.
I saw these pictures on social media, and I just didn't care enough to actually click on it and read it. But I passed it, and I was like, huh. Got a new movie, I guess, superhero movie.
I could tell Pablo's pissed he didn't get that.
Yes. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Groot speak more than Kawhi? Tim Kirkshan's going to join us here in about 10 minutes, but I wanted to get into the idea of something that I believe is anti-American, the third place game. Greg Cody has said bronze is for losers. We don't celebrate bronze in this country, even though any of us, I would imagine, would love to be third best in the world at anything. If any of us were third best in the world at anything, it would be better than we presently are at anything, because third best in the world is an achievement. But there is the potential for, and I think it's what's going to be, Messi and Mbappe playing a third place game, and that's going to be here, correct?
Yeah, it is in Miami.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Messi and Mbappe. Will they play in that game? They will.
There's a lot of unknowns here, but I never watched the third place game. It's hard to get up for that after the drama of semifinals and the ramp up to a final. It's fairly meaningless, although in international sport, a team's best finish and it being third is an impressive deal, especially when they go back home, get the big parade.
Winning your final World Cup game is a big deal.
Yeah, and potentially, if Argentina lose today, that would then shift to the third place match being Messi's international send-off. Perhaps it's his final match, so that's a big-time storyline. France-Argentina, a rematch, that's juicy. Here's the juiciest possible storyline. Those stats count. That is a officially sanctioned FIFA World Cup match. Mbappe, everyone thought yesterday he'd catch up to Messi's all-time men's World Cup goal-scoring record. He fell short. He did not score, famously. Messi still has a match. Messi can increase his lead there. Now, I assume, like everyone else, Mbappe will eventually chase down Messi. Mbappe almost certainly will play in the next Men's World Cup. 4 years is a long time, though. You cannot take that for granted. I assume Mbappe is definitely playing in Miami to chase down that record, and that is incentive enough for people to watch what is, for me, usually a meaningless third-place game. But if it's Messi v. Mbappe chasing down the record, you can have a Money in the Bank situation. Both of them grasping for the World Cup goals record. It could be scramble rules. It could switch hands several times in one match.
Chris Cody today got his information the old-fashioned way, listening to the big dog Joe Rose talking to the bigger dog Dave Hyde, and the two of them were talking about when American football had a third-place game. At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll, at Le Batard Show, is a third-place game un-American, yes or no? Chris Cody and I guess Zaz, not aware that there was an American football third-place game back in Cody's heyday.
In the 60s, I believe, like 60 to 69 or something.
Yeah,
and
late 60s.
Dave Hyde informed me that Don Shula, while head coach of the Baltimore Colts, won 2. What the hell happened there?
Tough to say that.
You got scared of Ravens, Colts. And,
yeah, I did.
Yeah,
did you lose what team was actually?
Yeah, I was just like, I knew it was the Colts, honestly. I was like, was it the Baltimore?
You just said to me off mic like 20 seconds ago, we've done a really good job not seizing on every on-air mistake.
I did.
You did it to yourself there because you got scared. It was a speed bump between Baltimore and Colts. But tell me more, Greg Cody. This is your wheelhouse of the third place American football game. Do you guys believe, I guess in American football, we'd watch any football, any kind. Mike just made the Brendan Sorsby controversy bigger than what I was arguing is one of the biggest controversies in the history of sports because football is king. But what can you tell us, Greg, about the third place game in American football?
It existed for about a decade. It ended when the NFL-AFL merger happened and Super Bowl era began. But the only thing I recall about it is that even back then, nobody gave a crap about finishing third. And in taking it to this World Cup, granted, Messi and Mbappe is a hell of a game. I don't care if it's for third place or not. But no team in the semifinals wanted to play in that game. Everybody's like, shit, nobody cares about the third place game. And I don't think they do. In this case, Mbappe and Messi both have 8 goals. Mbappe has the tiebreaker lead in assists, 3-2. So to the degree that the Golden Boot is a big thing, it's not the Ballon d'Or, but it's something that guys want to win. So it's going to be an interesting subplot.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should the third place game be renamed "Oh Shit, Nobody Cares"?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it was your idea.
Yeah, it's a little wordy.
Well, I'm quoting you.
Yeah,
it was your idea on the.
Right. It's good. Let's go with it. Oh shit, nobody cares. What would be the acronym there? OSN. Yeah, it's a little wordy. We'll workshop it. We'll get that streamlined a little bit.
Feel like we're doing that right now.
Oh shit, nobody cares.
The OSNC game.
The Oh Shit Bowl.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't even.
Yeah, I've heard him say that all the time.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's good luck for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such great advice?
With Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man?
Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but 2 of the Love Doctor's marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back, Jack. I suggest you get your girl what she'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her Randy ass.
You know about that Randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary, also.
I don't like. This isn't. Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't kayfabe. Kayfabe?
Kayfabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
Kayfabe,
Thank
wrestling
you.
nerd here at your service.
This isn't.
Zaz could have
Thanks,
helped
Mike Ryan. This isn't kayfabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
Before we get to Tim Kirkshin here, and he'll be on with us in seconds, can you just give me the stat of the day music to preview today's giant game between England and Argentina?
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
At the 2026 World Cup, that's this one, the 39-year-old Lionel Messi ranks either the top or tied for the top for goals, 8, shots, 33, chances created, 21, big chances created, 6, successful crosses, 17, through balls, 15.
This is the first time he's ever played England. Crazy.
His team stinks. It's the weakest of the four that were in the semifinals. It's the slowest of the four in the semifinals, and he is somehow still nuts. That stat is courtesy of OptaJoe.
Mike, who would be better, this Argentina team or if you put Messi on Cape Verde?
I mean, this Argentina team, but Cape Verde, I'm looking at them in a whole new light after seeing what Spain did to France yesterday, no doubt.
Tim Kirkshin is everyone's favorite. He's the Hall of Fame baseball writer, ESPN's MLB analyst, reporter for Baseball Tonight, and the host of Is This a Great Game or What?, the podcast he does with his son, Jeff. It is always nice to see him. Rob, I'm curious what you have to think about a couple of different things. Rob Manfred, first of all, saying that the payroll disparity and why the league wants a salary cap, he says, quote, the gap is $441 million. It defies human experience to ask a fan to think that the bottom end of that gap has the same opportunity to win as the top end of the gap. Now, he said to us that the bottom end did have a chance when I was challenging him on some of this stuff. But what do you think is going to happen there as it regards, Tim, and thank you for being with us, as it regards the salary cap?
Well, as I've told you, Dan, I covered the 81 strike. 81. It was 45 years ago, and we're still talking about very similar things, and we haven't gotten a whole lot closer to any solution. So I just don't see at this point the union accepting a salary cap, because they've been against that since the days of Marvin Miller, who screamed at me in Washington one day in 1981 because of something I had incorrectly written because I didn't know what I was doing back then. Not sure I know what I'm doing today when it comes to labor, but we're in a bad spot, and something has to happen here because these two sides are really, really far apart.
Speaking of a bad spot, Buster Olney on Get Up was talking about All-Stars not playing in the All-Star game, and he says, quote, "I think the Midsummer Classic is in a fragile state. I don't want to be negative. I love baseball, but I'm not tuning into a game to watch my favorite players strike out and not be able to hit the ball, Tim."
Yeah, we had 27 strikeouts in the game last night. That's the most in any 9-inning All-Star game ever. And again, the high road to take, which I almost always take, is that the stuff that these guys see today, we've never seen this before. It's the hardest hitting environment in Major League history. And the secondary stuff that these guys have to go with 98 to 105 miles an hour it's just too much. And it's just another reminder last night that when really good pitchers with great stuff locate that great stuff, the hitters have absolutely no chance. Even the best hitters on the face of the earth have no chance. Dan, we had 22 players strike out 100 times by the All-Star break. 22 have struck out 100 times or more. Hank Aaron never struck out 100 times in any season. Tony Gwynn had one. Look, again, different time, different era, different players. But it's an issue when we have this many strikeouts and this many homers and not enough in between. And it's an issue that, Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizrowski and Shohei Ohtani didn't pitch last night, unfortunately. I would love to have seen that. But the guys who are still there are still unhittable. Just another reminder how hard it is to get a hit in the big leagues today.
Does Adam Silver look like every hotel concierge merged into one person? Does Adam Silver...
Told you I'm an old man now. I'm almost 70. I have grandchildren. We can't be doing this still. Does he look like what? A magic wand?
Does he look like... That's a good one. Does he look like a mile marker? Does he look like a brand new drumstick? Does he look like an uncooked spaghetti noodle? Does he look like the ghost of a broomstick? Does he look like a plastic spoon? Does he look like a foul ball pole? What?
Too old to be. I'm too tired to be laughing like this. It is so funny. Dan, I tell you this every time I come on. This is all anyone wants to talk to me about. They don't want to know about anything else that I know. They just want to know about Adam Silver on your stupid show. It's so funny. God. Total strangers come up to me with Adam Silver lookalikes.
What can you tell me about the last week here over the midsummer break here, specifically as it relates to Zach Wheeler? What's the most petty and indignant you've ever seen a player do something like that?
That was not good. Look, I really expected him to play because it's in his hometown, and he would have gone with 6 of his teammates. So I was surprised that he did that. But, he's a very underrated pitcher, and he just decided if I'm not in the first group, and he should have been in the first group. He's had that good of a season. But the bottom line is just take the accolade and go to the All-Star game. It's amazing how many players are not going to the All-Star game, or when they get there, they can't play. Again, Dan, I grew up at a different time. I grew up when the All-Star game was the coolest thing ever. When Willie Mays hit a home run to start the 65 All-Star game on our color TV, the first thing we'd ever seen on our color TV. Pete Rose used to meet people at the door of the clubhouse saying, we are going to beat the American League again this year. You understand that? Well, those days are over, and I understand. It was a great week. It was a great week in Philadelphia. The home run derby was great. All-Star game, too many strikeouts, but the crowd was in it. Philadelphia did great, but I would just like to see more guys have tremendous pride in going to the All-Star game. And once you go there, you got to do everything you can to play in the All-Star game. But as we try to protect our players no matter what, teams are stepping forward and say, nope, he can't pitch. We can't have him throw an inning. He might get hurt, and we can't have that.
Tim, Major League Baseball wants its players to play in the Olympics in Los Angeles in a couple of years, but they're using language like mandatory participation. Can you explain that a little bit further, and what does the union feel about this?
Well, the union's not going to be real wild about anything being mandatory because the players, it needs to be their decision, not that of Major League Baseball or anyone else. And look, fellas, I'm, again, hopelessly biased as a baseball guy. You can't take 10 days off, let's say, in the middle of a baseball season and expect to be really good when you come back. It doesn't work that way in baseball, whereas a great NBA player can take 10 days off and get his shooting form and his shooting motion back instantly because that motion is easier than trying to hit 103 miles an hour with violent movement. So, this is a work in progress to see if the Olympic situation is going to work out for baseball players, but the union is probably not going to accept mandatory anything. It will be a choice by the team and the player whether the guy wants to play.
Tim, it came up on the show yesterday that I run a fan site on Twitter, now X, for my childhood hero, Carl Yastrzemski. And the slogan of the fan site is, "It's all you can eat," after his famous number. Can you tell me, is there a better all-time number 8 in baseball than Carl Yastrzemski?
Yeah, I think there are 3 better than him. And I love... Oh, boy. Sorry, Greg. I shouldn't have done that. All right.
Neither should have Dan.
Yeah, I think Yogi Berra is the greatest number 8. Won 3 MVPs, and he finished second 3 other times, I think. I think Cal Ripken was a better number 8, given how he changed the position of shortstop for everyone who followed him. Jeter, A-Rod, Chipper Jones, Troy Glaus, Nomar, all those guys. And I think Joe Morgan was a better 8 also. Joe Morgan won back-to-back MVPs. Joe Morgan is one of the 3 greatest second basemen of all time for me. Look, nobody loves Yaz more than I do because I grew up watching him play. But you do, yes. Okay. Poorly said by me. I'm sorry.
You do. Cut that up.
I think he's the 4th best number 8, and I think Willie Stargell is the 5th best number 8. But that's a tough number. And
Gary Carter outside the top 5.
On our podcast, I had last year we did From Ozzie to Orel, the greatest players of all time, number 1 through 55. When we got to 8, it was like, oh, what am I going to do here? There are so many good choices, just like number 5, DiMaggio, Pujols, Johnny Bench, Brooks Robinson, George Brett. So there's some really interesting numbers, but 8 is the good one. And I'm sorry, Greg, if I offended you, but if you're asking me, I think those other 3 guys, given the positions that they played, shortstop, second base, and catcher, are slightly ahead of Carl Yastrzemski on the all-time 8 list.
You can settle the disputes from yesterday as well. Better Red Sox left fielder, Manny Ramirez or Carl Yastrzemski?
Well, defensively, it's not even close. Carl Yastrzemski is arguably the greatest defensive left fielder. I know he's the greatest defensive left fielder that I've ever seen. Ricky Henderson in his prime was awfully good. We don't give him enough credit for how he went to that line, would spin and throw the ball to second base. Barry Bonds in his prime was a really good left fielder also. But Yaz was better than Manny Ramirez because he spent his entire career with the Red Sox. But I think Manny was a better hitter overall than Carl Yastrzemski. Forget everything else involving Manny Ramirez. But if I have to pick a left fielder for the Red Sox, I'm taking Yaz for sure.
Cal Raleigh had one of the greatest seasons of all time last season. And I know baseball can happen sometimes, but this is an all-time slide. What do you think is happening there? And where do you rank it in all-time year-over-year slides?
Well, good question, Mike. We have to figure out where he ends up this year, from 60 homers to 165 at the moment. Now, I'm not going to make excuses for anyone, because Cal Raleigh is one of the really good guys in the game and a really good player. But this is the way it was explained to me. You can buy it if you like. He goes to the WBC and he gets 9 at-bats in 2 weeks. And when you're a spring training player and you're trying to get ready for the season, you need more than 9 at-bats in 2 weeks. And the other thing is, and I'm not real wild about this either, these guys hit like 3-4 times a day. They go to the cage like all day to hit. And Cal Raleigh didn't get that in spring training either, because when he was with the WBC, they didn't have the facility to just go to another indoor cage and hit at 1 p.m. for a 7 o'clock game and then hit at 10:30 after the game. That's what guys do today. So I think that really set him back, according to the people with the Mariners that I have spoken to. But it's just another reminder, fellas, how beautiful baseball is, that you can go from a great player to a below average player, like just like that. Whereas a great NBA jump shooter doesn't shoot 51% one season and 18% the next. It just can't happen that way. But it does in baseball, which makes the game so beautiful, because it is so hard to play.
Does Tom Verducci look like he's one Cadillac sale away from President's Club and an all-expenses-paid trip for 2 to Acapulco?
I did the All-Star game with Tom Verducci last night. We were in the same dugout briefly, and then I switched to the other dugout. So yes, and Verducci is one of my dear friends from a long time ago. And I don't know if
terrible nickname. Terrible nickname for Verducci.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Tom is a dear friend of mine. Sorry.
What up, Dooch?
Put it up on the poll. Is Dooch a terrible nickname? Yes or no? Does Jim Harbaugh look like the dad who always keeps his high school cleats in the trunk of the car just in case he needs to lace them up? Does Bobby Witt Jr. look like the assistant manager in the 1980s stereo shop who can get you a big discount on some used tower speakers? He really does. What are you most worried about when it comes to baseball, Tim? If you had to put at the top of your list your greatest concern as someone who really loves the sport.
Well, again, Dan, the labor is the only thing I'm really, truly worried about, okay? The rest of the game is in good hands right now. We had one of the greatest Octobers ever. We had the best World Series I've ever seen. The WBC was tremendous. The regular season has been fantastic just because of its unpredictable nature. And the players are bigger, stronger, faster than ever. We had 7 rookies in the All-Star game. That's most ever. We had 20 players, 25 or younger, in the All-Star game. That ties for the most ever. This all points to baseball is in a very good spot. So I have very little concern about it, other than, of course, where we are with labor. But we've been over this, Dan. The strikeout rate just is going to have to change, and adjustments are going to have to be made. Otherwise, we're going to continue to get 27 strikeouts in the All-Star game. And we're going to have, I repeat, 22 guys at the All-Star break with 100 strikeouts. That has to change. And the Otto Lopez's of the world can help change that by hitting a rocket opposite field single like he did last night. That's how the game used to be played. That you walk to the plate and you realize, I can't hit this guy. He's too good. He's got 3 pitches, sometimes 4, that he can strike me out with. I have to change my approach and figure out how to hit a ball hard and get it in play. That's what we're not doing. And that's one thing that worries me, is this incredible stuff we see is going to continue to dominate the game.
Tim, down here in Miami, we call Otto Lopez Olo. Have you heard about that nickname yet? Olo?
Well, I have not. I'm ashamed to say I haven't been to too many Marlin games yesterday, and with
Neither has
travel
anyone.
budgets the way they are,
They're a
I
playoff
haven't-
team. They're going to be a playoff team. I feel like they're good enough to be a playoff team, Tim. They're legitimate, even though the Guardians hit them in the head because they pitched too well.
Yeah, the Marlins are an interesting team, and there are so many teams out there that you can look at and say they might be a playoff team. And I agree. I think the Marlins are going to make the playoffs. I'm so impressed with the way they play the game, steal bases, put the ball on play, take the extra base, take the action to the other team as opposed to just waiting for a 3-run homer. And then you look at the American League, fellas, only 3 teams are like out of the race completely at the All-Star break, meaning 12 teams have a chance to make the playoffs. Now, a bunch of them stink. They're under 500, but you can't give up on a season when there are this many playoff spots to be had. And I'm just fascinated what the second half is going to look like.
This is a good one. Does Aaron Judge look like a caricature drawn by a failed artist at the carnival? With the exaggerated features. That is excellent. Does Jim Boeheim look like the underworld financier laundering money for his crime boss, Pat Riley?
My kids went to Syracuse, Dan, and I had some really good moments with Jim Boeheim. He came on our podcast a couple years ago, and I sat alone with him 3 years ago more than that, when my daughter went to school there, and we talked about baseball and basketball, and it was great. And he told me all about Kobe Bryant and what a killer competitor he was. It was really an interesting conversation. And he loves baseball also, but he watches from the basement of his house. He loves the Yankees instead of going to games all the time. But I was really impressed with his baseball knowledge. And he grew up a big, Braves fan, Hank Aaron, Warren Spahn. He said, if I couldn't even speak to Hank Aaron if I ever got a chance to meet him. That's how big Hank Aaron was.
Put it on the poll, please. Are you surprised at all that Jim Boeheim watches baseball in the basement of his home at Le Batard Show? Does Kurt Signetti look like he's controlling satellites with his eyebrows? Tim,
that's the Indiana coach.
That is correct. That is who that is. Yes, it is that is the author of the greatest college football season ever played.
All right, Dan, I've lost track of so many things now that I'm just so immersed in baseball and so busy with 5 grandchildren. I've really lost track of football and all sorts of other things. It's embarrassing, and I'm sorry. I should have known that he's the Indiana coach.
Does Reggie Miller look like he can teleport? Nice seeing
Boy,
you,
what
Tim.
a great,
we love you.
All right, sorry. The lesson with Reggie Miller is go watch his shooting motion sometime. It's one of the worst shooting motions of anyone who was a great shooter in the history of the NBA. We teach people how to shoot. This hand's got to stay straight. This comes through. Reggie was completely backwards. So please, for all of our parents out there and all of our coaches, let's not change a kid's approach as a 7-year-old or a 12-year-old if he is having success. Reggie Miller is the perfect example of, all right, it was an unorthodox shooting motion, but he was one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Speaking of basketball, let's play for Tim Kirkshin this video shot by Brad Williams at the Little People Convention in New Orleans. Tim, have you ever seen someone crossed over this embarrassingly? Have you ever seen a defender crossed over in a way that makes him go from about half court to falling on his face at the free throw line? You love basketball. Have you ever seen anything that embarrassing before?
Well, that's pretty bad, but I watched. First off, I love basketball. You know that, Dan. And Allen Iverson's crossover is still the greatest single basketball move in the history of the sport. Kareem's hook shot is the greatest shot in the history of the sport. But I watched Jason Williams on one of those highlight films. I could watch those highlight films of Jason Williams all day. In fact, when I get depressed, which isn't often, I watch that. He did something to John Stockton one night that I can't even explain what he did, but he left John Stockton one of the great defensive point guards of all time. Just he had no idea what to do. He was like frozen solid by this triple crossover that Jason Williams made. So I'm going to say that was even more embarrassing because he did it to one of the greatest point guards of all time.
I mean, so did this guy. But anyway, thank you, Tim. Good seeing you. Reminder to everybody involved, Is This a Great Game or What is the podcast he does with his son, Jeff. Always great catching up with you.
Wait. Can I ask him a trade question? Any big names getting moved at the deadline, Tim?
Well, good question, Mike.
Yeah, I got a second one. My initial question was going to be Tim. You remember
question?
Yes. I have two good baseball questions.
Two good baseball.
I mean, I thought my question was good.
Woo! Nobody thought your question was good. Mike had two good questions. Tim didn't think your question was any good, Roy.
All right, Tarek Skubal will dominate the entire trade deadline. The Tigers have to decide, are we in or are we out? Are we going to try to win and make the playoffs and do something in October, which is possible in a winnable American League? Or are they going to say, we're going to lose him to free agency after the season? We have to trade him. The next 3 weeks is going to be mostly about Tarek Skubal. So keep your eye every day on the Tigers and see where they are and what they're going to do. This is going to be one of the most difficult decisions ever by any team at the trade deadline.
Jeremy, now that we've got extra bonus time with Tim that we're taking, why did you cry during the All-Star game last night?
Oh, the Sandlot tribute. So the in the fifth inning, they did this J.K. Simmons narrated commercial where you saw kids riding on their bikes going toward the ballpark, and then they picked up the commercial live in the ballpark and had this moment where all of these kids ride out onto the field on their bicycles with fireworks in the background, like the 4th of July moment in the Sandlot. And they're going up to the different big leaguers, and Freddie Freeman's having a catch, and Jacob Mizorowski's showing a kid how to grip baseballs. And between the narration from Simmons that had some of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard about baseball, about how it's ever present and it's not nostalgia, it's just a moment in our time. I felt so emotional and so, oddly enough, I think it's the most American I've felt in a decade. In that I just was sitting there watching this beautiful moment with the fireworks going off, with all of these different people from all of these different backgrounds. And I had this overwhelming feeling thinking about baseball as America's pastime and the ever-presence of this sport. And the way that they narrated all of
Tillman's
this,
free kick.
I can't tell you how happy I felt
Olympic
just sort
gold.
of experiencing all of that. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on a field.
Tim?
Yeah, and I was in the National League dugout working for radio last night. So I was very close to the opening of the door when these bikers came out, these kids on bikes came out. It was really cool.
Bikers is totally different. You're making it a totally different moment when you make it bikers.
Yeah.
When you
Hills
say
Angels.
it's bikers, yeah, next thing you know, there's just a bunch of
kids on bikes. It was really, really cool. The whole night was really cool. And I saw Miles Teller before the game. I met him a couple years ago at the World Series, and he's a big Phillies fan. And he went out and made a speech on the field that was kind of inspiring also. So I had a really big night last night, meeting people and seeing people. And I saw Ken Griffey Jr. again. I see him like once a year. And now once a year, Ken Griffey Jr. just looks at me and says, you know, people do retire. You know that, right? And he says that to me every year now, like it's my turn to retire. Why are you still here after all these years? So thank you, Junior. I'm still here after all these years.
Nice to see you, Tim.
We love you, Tim.
It is always lovely. Yes, it is always good. It feels, it just feels like summer having him around and talking baseball. Do you guys want to hear Jeremy's top 5 list on the top 5 moments or feelings that he had from last night's All-Star game? You seem to be, all of you seem to be making fun of him.
We're good. We don't need it.
Yeah, we're good.
From
Thank
every
you.
angle.
Thank you, though.
Just think about Jeremy crying.
It's good to know that it's on the table.
It was real tears. Like some of the things that they said, It was amazing. Like baseball, there was a moment where he said, I believe it's whether it's rounding the diamond, whether it's showing up to the ballpark.
Keep it together.
If the ball goes over the fence, you're home. I mean, in J.K. Simmons' voice, not my annoying voice. Imagine that.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm watching yesterday, and I was surprised by something that happened on television. And I will tell you that my surprise, I just did not realize that what Ryan Clark was complaining about was so. Ryan Clark was mad because Jalen Hurts, in these rankings that now everyone's doing in the offseason because they want to talk about football, and people are upset that Lamar Jackson has fallen from the second most valuable player in the league or the third most valuable player in the league to now being ranked number 69. He was upset that Jalen Hurts had fallen among quarterbacks in the quarterback rankings to the 6th tier. And the thing that I was surprised about is I did not know there were 6 tiers of quarterback rankings. Did you guys know there?
Of course.
You
How
guys,
many do you think there were?
How many are there?
6.
Six seems low for a Super Bowl.
I could easily
champion.
see 7.
Easy. But what do you mean you can eat? How many are there? How many tiers of quarterback rankings are there?
96.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have the S tier. Everybody knows S. All right, everybody knows S at the top, and then you have elite, and then you have Pro Bowl caliber, and then you have good, and then you have average. We're already at 5 there. Then you have bad. Then you have shitty. That right there is 7.
Wait, what is the S tier? What is the S tier? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's an internet thing, Dan. Don't worry about it.
All right, so 96 tiers of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure there are 96 quarterbacks.
There are. Yeah, every team's got 3. 3 times 32.
Not
96.
every team has 3.
Well, if you include what used to be called the taxi squad.
Practice squad.
Yeah, now the practice.
Not sure what any of us are supposed to do with that. Yeah, I'm not sure what any of us are supposed to do with 96
I don't know how many tiers are there.
Seven.
I reject Greg's answer of 96 tiers. I reject it.
4 tiers.
But then how is Jalen Hurts in the 6th tier?
He had a bad season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, that was the name of a song, 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians in the mid-'60s. Parenthetically, just, sometimes you got to explain.
I just saw Roy scamper. I'm hoping he's scampering to the Back in My Day music. We were promised a Back in My Day monthly.
We were?
Yeah, by you. So now you
I did 2 this year.
We're in July.
I know, it's only the middle of the year.
You promised us one every month.
I did, yeah. I really didn't follow through on that, did I?
Well, go ahead and tell us more about this song by 96.
Yeah, everybody knows
96
96 Tears. Question Mark and the Mysterians was the name of the group, and it wasn't spelled out. It was an actual question mark. I forget whether there was an ampersand or it was the word and spell out, but it's Question Mark and the Mysterians. And back in the day, that was a huge hit. May or may not have been a one-hit wonder. I would have to do the research on that. But 96 Tears was a banger. A banger. A banger.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You're going to do it 96 times?
It was great. Are you allowed to play songs on this network?
Not really.
On this show?
Not really.
Okay, because it's a
Are
banger.
they litigious?
It's 4 times now.
Everybody listen to it. Everybody go out and go on Spotify, Google 96 Tears. Let's send that song up the rankings for the first time in 60 years.
Do you want me to Spotify it or do you want me to Google
Tony,
it?
I want you
Anything
to play
you
it.
want.
Play it for yourself on your phone and tell me whether his 4-banger ranking is
Okay, what is
something
this
that
again?
is meritorious.
The Mysterios?
96
What is it?
tiers by a question mark of some sort.
I had 96 tiers last night.
Nobody somehow was moved by Jeremy being moved to tears. I think we have to create a segment. Jeremy is positive about something and do just something a little bit syrupy that is a little bit feel good. I think I've told you guys before about. I used to listen before I did a Sunday morning show for ESPN Radio that had a ton of clearance because nobody's listening to sports radio.
I used to listen.
But nobody on sports radio at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. It's not a prime listening.
ESPN, the
hour.
magazine.
That's right. So it was a 4-hour show. My dog would often bark during it because I was doing it from my home. And before that show, at about 4 or 5 in the morning, which is sometimes when I was driving in from my night out before doing this in my young days, there was a show that even fewer people were listening to because it was 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, which was sort of like positive about sports. And it had some music that was just sweet and syrupy. And the show could develop no following because of sports radio, of course, is battery acid and hatred. Positivity is not what sports radio exudes.
A celebration of life through sports?
That may have been the name. Yes, wordier than no shit. Nobody gives a shit about this game or whatever the acronym was about the third place game.
The shit bowl.
That's quicker.
I heard the song. It's all right.
Yeah.
Banger?
I remember hopping in a car thinking, like, is this a Christian station?
A trip to the ballpark, a sprint around the diamond, a game of catch. That feeling often gets mistaken for nostalgia. It isn't. Nostalgia is missing something that's gone. Baseball never left.
That elicited tears.
9 to a side. 3 strikes and you're out. Hit it over the fence and you're home.
The baseball poets have lived my entire lifetime writing about the idea of going home, and it's timeless, and there is no clock, and it's why it's the most wonderful game, except now we're addicted to our phone. Everyone has attention deficit disorder, and they're like, put a clock on that pitcher. Hey, you got 20 seconds. Hurry up, pitcher, or we're going to start calling balls on you.
They should be celebrated, and I do celebrate them. I think they've made great changes. Honestly, the biggest issue with baseball, it's the elephant in the room. It's us and our phones. The sport just allowed for us to be in our phones a little bit. Now, not so much, and I've really enjoyed that they've taken that off the table such that it is. But, yeah, the technology was a big reason.
I'm going to get you here, Tony. The ballpark became America's backdrop, a place for triumph, a place for heartbreak, a place for whatever we needed next. And it was a video of George W. Bush's first pitch at Yankee Stadium.
USA!
USA! USA! Dan, can you imagine the moment?
Let's go!
States! We had just an insane, just unbelievable,
quite a bit,
thing. That was so terrible, right? And you got the weight of the world on you.
You're talking about 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you walk up. There's some people that don't know about 9/11. They learned it in history.
Everyone knows about it.
Not everybody knows about it.
You know what? Let's just keep it moving.
Two-seamer from George W.
I feel like everyone knows about 9/11.
Not everybody knows about it.
It's a known event.
People still don't know about it.
Does my granddaughter know about it?
That exactly right, Greg.
She does, actually.
Does she?
They've taught her about that,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Jet fuel and whatnot. Anyways, he steps into the box, okay? He's there. And he's underneath, right? And he's practicing. And who comes up? Derek Jeter. And what does Derek Jeter say, Jeremy? He tells George W. Bush, don't bounce it.
Don't bounce it.
Yeah.
So imagine the weight of the world, 40,000, 50,000 fans in the stadium. He walks up to the mound, throws an absolute dart.
Pretty sure you tell every person before they throw a first pitch, don't bounce it.
Okay, but these are
standard
stakes
thing to
that
say.
are more stakes than have ever been had, ever.
Yeah, like me at Greg Cody Day in Fort Myers.
Another good pitch.
It was a great pitch.
It was good.
Thank you.
It was no Judge Dub, but it was good.
You remember that?
He wasn't there.
The baseball.
You weren't there?
The baseball poets, though, time has passed them by. I urge you to listen to Pablo Torre Finds Out. He sat down with Sarah Jessica Parker after the Knicks won to talk about what it's like to be a New Yorker and a photo of her reading a book at a baseball game. And she started talking about how baseball allows you the time to read a book. And I thought to myself, Sarah Jessica Parker hasn't been to a baseball game in a long time because it no longer offers you the time to read a book.
What up, Dooch?
Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's
What?
right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we told you. We told you it was. We told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right. And now you just changed
He
it.
botched it to such a degree that there are so many good ones left that we're just pushing all
I
the
knew
current
that was
ones
going to
back.
happen, though. That's exactly
That's
what
what
we were saying.
Your brain beating me.
How did this happen? What was the ruling? What did the committee get together and decide? How did it happen that it got expanded? Now, no one's going to complain about this because more catchphrases is great, but we told you this was going to happen, and we told you this was a sloppy list by you.
The others, they all learn from me.
Yeah, right.
No, I looked at all the catchphrases remaining, and there was only 14 left, but there were like 20-something good ones. So I'm like,
thank you.
Let's go.
So wait a minute. So how did you do it though? Are there now is there now a new list 50 to 60 or
No,
what are you doing?
everything that's been said is just like what was 50 is now 60. There were 14 left, and now there's 24
So we're
left.
not in the top 20
No,
anymore?
now we're at 23
we were
and
in the top
24.
20 of the countdown, and now we're at 24?
I'm telling you, they're bangers, though. They're just bangers
There
left.
is nobody that's actually upset about this development. Come on.
You've got to honor the list, though.
I'm telling you, I got a peek. I don't know the exact order, but I got a peek of what the top 10 looks like, and it is just banger after banger.
Yeah, Yeti hated it. He's against it.
Yeti thinks that we should just make him live with the world he gave
You
us.
should.
Like
I mean, I
there's-
asked you several times throughout this whole process. Have you thought this out? Have you planned out the list? You know that there are 50. You kept assuring me that you have it all under control.
Driver comfort is paramount.
You're wrong. You know, part of the beauty of me is a bit of serendipity, a bit of
You're the kind of guy.
unpredictability. And so the same is true with this list. Okay, whenever you do a countdown, Zaz, bank this information for your future. Whenever you do any sort of a countdown, controversy is good. You want somebody to say, that sucks, that should be lower, or that's, wow, I can't believe that's not higher.
So wait, so what used to be 50 is now 60.
Yes.
So we've gotten fraudulent rankings up to now. All the numerical rankings we've gotten up to now are all wrong.
He can give you the updated, like number 60, he can give you the update of whatever.
I know, but they're all, every previous incarnation of this that we have given the American public and internationally has been wrong.
I would say adjusted more than wrong.
Adjusted.
Maybe to Greg's credit, too, I've never heard of a top 60.
Thank you.
Well, how do we know it's not going to end up being 62 because he's going to think of two more on his way home because he didn't plan any of this
It
out?
would never be 62. It could bump to 65. It would never be a number like 62.
We would obviously go in fives, Dan.
Here's also the thing. This is a big question of mine. So you have left 10 out, which is why you are expanding it from 50 to 60. But the 10 that you left out are automatically like they're in
They're
the
top
top
24.
23. You're saying top 24.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, he left bangers out.
Right.
This had to be done, guys.
Yeah, it had to be done, like he says.
Again, it doesn't have to be done if you're dealing with a responsible person who plans it
That's
at the
true.
beginning, as opposed to just making everything up as he goes along.
No, listen, and we're in the sports business. We should know this better than anybody. Rankings always change. When I was born, everybody agreed Babe Ruth, greatest player ever. Not so much now. Rankings
That was when I was
change.
growing up. It was a hot debate. Everyone agreed, though. Babe Ruth, that young kid's got a future.
It was an argument back then on sports radio. Tris Speaker or Babe
Yeah,
Ruth?
that's right. Lou Gehrig was in play.
Just
as well.
telegram in your thoughts.
I have to go back to Chris Cody here because I'm not sure that I knew this. I have to go back. So you're married to an identical twin.
That's right.
Okay, I have questions.
Go on.
First,
Not too many questions.
well, I know your father's sitting right next to me. It's a little weird. Okay, so first question.
No wonder they're into swinging at that house.
Were you always able to tell them apart?
Not at the beginning when we were just dating. Her sister has like a beauty mark on her face, so I was like, mine's the one without that.
Okay. My next question is, a lot of times, your wife or your girlfriend will be like, you think my sister's attractive, don't you? You clearly think her sister's attractive.
That's right. Undeniable.
If you think your wife's hot, you think her sister is hot.
My sister-in-law's hot.
That's
There, I said
crazy,
it.
right?
I've never said that to her before.
No, you got to say that though.
Well, you must think she's hot.
But Zaz, here's the deal. Everyone with a hot sister-in-law thinks their sister-in-law is hot. He's the only one who's allowed to say it out loud. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Not like the rest of us are like, oh, my sister-in-law is terrible. Like, if you got a hot one, you're like, oh, my God, she's hot, but you just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. And are they actually different?
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
So how'd you choose?
The other one was taken.
Papa Cody, wait a second now. You experience this. I mean, do you find one more charming than the other?
At the very beginning, I too had difficulty telling them apart.
But do you like, now that you've gotten to know, presumably both of them pretty well, do you think that your boy made the right choice between the two?
I have to say that. I mean, of course he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course he did.
Now,
I love my daughter-in-law, but they're eerily alike.
Now,
not just physically.
What I'm about to admit now is a little embarrassing.
Go on.
There are times, in marriage, you're going through, you're like, it's just, this is
I don't like where this is headed.
I don't either.
Where sometimes you just like, if you're trying to keep things fresh, you just imagine it's the other person.
Oh, no.
That's an unbelievable admission.
That
What's the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey. Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. Yeah. He went. He plowed straight ahead.
You guys never struggle, huh?
Your wife clearly does not listen to this show.
Sure doesn't.
You got
in hell
no worries that this is getting back to her.
Tony, how you feel about that admission?
Not great. Yeah, not great. Even though, admittedly, Chris says that his wife doesn't watch the show, which is good, right?
Very
so he
good.
feels like he can shoot from the hip here and not really be taken to task, like Dave said. Very good. But the issue is, sometimes some things are so flammable and so big that they peer through the veil of Chris saying, "Oh no, my wife doesn't watch a show," where she's like, "You said what?"
That was bigger than the show, man.
Bigger than the show.
Let's not clip this if we can.
That was an incredible admission.
It really
Greg,
was.
what did you make of all that?
A little bit unfortunate. I wish he hadn't said that. It could come back to haunt.
You guys never struggle.
Well, in the context of this show, you can always say, I was just kidding. Of course I was just kidding. But will she believe you?
I was.
Okay.
What is
Time for World Cup picks. This segment is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I think England get on the scoreboard. I think they crack through. And if they do, my money, I think it's going to be either Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham. So why not both? Yeah. I'm taking them both. Anytime goal scorer, they're both plus juice. Harry Kane, plus 150 on the DraftKings Sports app, now available in all 50 states. Jude Bellingham, how do they keep pricing him this way? Plus 257. Wow. Been eating this World Cup with Jude Bellingham. I'll take that too. Clutch player. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
How about Jude Bellington? Look at Tony laughing at me. I think you need to slow.
Now you do it. Go ahead.
I think you need to slow down making fun of me getting Bellingham wrong when you did what you did in the last
You know what you
segment.
did.
I don't know
What
whether,
did I do?
I don't know whether we have that ready or not. I've asked them to go get it so that I can unleash
A
it.
special request you
Yes,
had?
I had a special request during the break, and they tell me it is now ready. So here's Tony describing 9/11.
So we had just an insane, just unbelievable,
Quite a bit.
thing that was so terrible, right? And you got the weight of the world on you.
You're talking about 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you walk up. There's some people that don't know about 9/11. They learned it in history.
Everyone knows about it.
Not everybody knows about
You know
it.
what?
It's not great. Jessica is with us now. We've got a number of different things to talk about with Jessica. You should check out her weekly Notre Dame podcast, The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. It's probably a little late for me to be asking the question of whether it's okay to laugh at Grandpa who got hit by a bison, given what our show has been doing, and given that we were telling you as that was happening, hey, he's in the hospital, he has had surgery, has had his leg broken in several places, and right before that had to be the most horrifying moments of that man's life. Chris told me today that we have a new angle. Do you mean a new camera angle on what happened, or do you mean a new storyline angle on what happened?
No, it's a new physical angle, like another camera angle.
Really?
That I saw where it's just a little bit more to the left. You get a slow motion view.
All right.
of the
So
guy going
before
up.
I ask Jessica whether it's okay to laugh at this, let's play it and then ask her afterward whether it's okay to laugh at this.
Here's our new angle from a slightly different.
It's better.
You really see the bison get low there.
Incredible.
Jessica, where are you on this
AI?
On this?
Yeah, was that AI? I think that
new
me
angle
AI
could be AI.
vibes.
I mean, it looks pretty realistic given that we've seen the previous angle, which also seemed like it was comically, cartoonishly real.
You feed into the AI, give me a different angle. And it does look real. Have you seen the Mitch McConnell stuff?
That does not look real.
I think it is real, actually. I think Mitch McConnell reeled that angle AI. Now, that is kind of what makes it great.
I still
is the
argue this guy's a
suspenders.
hero, though. As soon as the scary part happened, you didn't see the kid. He said, hey, you get away, I will take this.
Oh, he totally Jeff Goldblum.
He's a hero.
Do you believe, Jessica, what's presently on the screen is the closest thing that human beings have ever produced to the opposite of the Jumpman logo in terms of greatness and athletic excellence?
That's the fall guy. Yeah.
I have a number of things that I want to talk to you about, but we have not talked at all about what's going on with Michigan. And I don't know if there is a empirical correlation that we can make throughout time. Your programs get good, and all of a sudden we find out things about your programs that are really, really unpleasant. But Michigan has spent a lot of time this week talking about and investigating whether or not they need a complete culture change. But I can make the argument Michigan's never been more successful at sports than they have been in the last 5 years of basketball and football. So where are you on everything that's happening presently as Michigan examines its culture, Jessica?
Yeah, Dan, if that's true that you need to be unscrupulous to be successful, then this is, I would say, a very extreme case of that. And I don't know if it's entirely true, but yeah, so Michigan hired an external law firm to look into all of the BS surrounding the athletic department after the Sharon Moore incident in December, where he was revealed to be having an affair with a subordinate and then was let go and went into her apartment and brandished a butter knife, allegedly. And most people, I think, fairly wondered at that point, would the athletic director, Ward Manuel, survive long enough to name a successor to Sharon Moore? And he did. Michigan's had a number of issues hiring a new university president, which may be a factor in that. But all of this has now come to a head as the findings of this law firm's multi-million-dollar investigation are slowly trickling out to the media because this is an oral report that they're giving. They don't want Michigan's trying to control how much of this gets out. Some of it has gotten out. There's a story in the Wall Street Journal this week that Ward Manuel may have been aware of inappropriate relationship with the assistant Paige Shiver and with Sharon Moore as far back as 2024 when he sent a message about them not traveling together. And so there's been like a slow trickle out of findings from this investigation. The full investigation probably will not be released anywhere. That all makes Ward Manuel look really bad. So then there was a little bit of information over the weekend that probably going to have to resign or would be fired or step down. And then he did a radio show or a media appearance and was like, I'm not stepping down. So now it seems like there's this Board of Regents meeting on Thursday, tomorrow, and he may in fact be stepping down / perhaps be fired, and the amount of money which he is owed is now probably the only thing left in dispute, I would have to guess. But it is a very gross and messy situation involving, Dan, other than the Sharon Moore thing, like just so much insanity. Like the Connor Stallions sign stealing saga is only like a minor detail in all of this.
I'm not making fun of the incident, but I am making fun of the language that you used in describing the incident. I don't think that the butter knife rises to the level of brandishing. I think it has to be a different verb. If you're brandishing something, it has to be something more than a butter knife.
Like a machete?
Well, just
that's not a knife.
It's a knife.
I feel like a knife's a knife.
I feel like you can, Dan. Have you never brandished a pen as a columnist?
I feel like the weapon of a pen is more dangerous than a butter knife, both actually in a physical altercation and using it to write.
That's insane.
The pen is powerful.
What are you going to do with the pen that you can't do with the...
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Ah, there it is.
If it's mightier than the sword, how is it not mightier than the butter knife?
Okay.
I think you've brandished a pen, metaphorically.
Put down your
speaking.
weapon.
But I think Dan was talking about it literally. Like, I can poke somebody's eye with a pen. I'm like, yeah, you can poke somebody's eye with a butter knife too, dude.
I think you can brandish any sort of long, hard object that could be used as a weapon.
There you go.
The butter knife, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If you're brandishing something, does it have to be more weaponized than the butter knife? Yes or no? I was told before the show today by Chris Cody that there was a food he'd invented. Jessica is our resident connoisseur and food expert. Would you like to present to both me and Jessica, because I don't know what you're talking about, a food you've invented?
Well, it wasn't Chris's invention. This came from Twitter, and we saw the big brain of this Twitter account post some shit you couldn't even begin to fathom as they coined themselves. So this is peanut butter and jelly as the condiments for a banana in a hot dog bun.
And you know what I just watched right before coming on here? Dan, do you know who the Rizzler is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank God. Do you know what Subway Takes is?
I do not.
Okay, Subway Takes is this digital video series where a guy on the subway asks people what their take is, and then they usually say something that ends up going viral. Sometimes it's incredibly offensive. Sometimes it's very benign. The Rizzlers, the latter, not the former, thankfully. It was about him not liking peanut butter, but he did talk about this specific invention being the banana hot dog with the peanut butter jelly, ketchup and mustard. And it did pique my interest. I'm kind of worried about the amount of, I think the bun needs to be toasted with butter.
Really?
I'm worried about the condiment
you're adding
ratio.
butter to peanut butter and jelly and the banana? You're adding butter?
Like you think that's bad.
Yeah, I don't want a raw dog. I don't want a raw bun. I don't want a raw bun for my
but toasted seems
banana.
enough. The butter, you're putting butter with peanut butter and jelly. That's not something I'm hearing
It's
very
a buttery
often.
bun. Come on, stop pretending.
to lubricate the bun. Yeah.
So, of course, we've taken this opportunity to create this ourselves, so I'm going to take it for a walk.
Yeah, I want to
here.
eat it.
Take the thing for a walk.
Okay, so
there
you guys,
better not be any lettuce on that. No greens.
A lot of banana. Oh, that's really good. Was hoping for like banana slices instead of like a dick of a banana.
That's not how it works.
I mean, banana and almond butter or peanut butter, those are both
really
good.
What are the rules for looking in the eye when you're eating the banana but in a hot
I'll
dog
stare you
bun?
in the eye.
No.
Mandatory.
You don't want me to?
How do you feel about what you're eating though, Jeremy? How is it? So a lot of banana
Honestly,
is not much of a critique.
Messy, but this is truly delicious. I
kinda-
would have this anytime.
It's kind of like the Elvis sandwich, right? But without the bacon. It's on regular toast.
I'd
This one's
honestly
on a
be
hot
good
dog
with
bun.
this without the banana. Just give me a PB&J as a hot dog.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
that
the
doesn't make
whole
it unique.
banana's the thing.
I'm
dude.
just saying.
Right,
I
that
prefer.
does sort of-
And I'm just saying.
So you'd prefer something different? Is
I
what you're
prefer
saying.
without the banana.
He prefers a peanut butter
I'm
and jelly
tasting
sandwich.
it and I'm giving my take. Like, what are you guys like? What
really
are
good.
for me here?
Jessica mentioned that it has no greens. Were you making a diarrhea joke?
I was, Dan. This summer in New York City, we were all having the time of our lives in June. And now July has come. We have gotten the bad juju of the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce wedding on the 4th. We have multiple heat waves. It's a jillion degrees out. And most importantly, everyone has diarrhea now.
They might be onto something here with the PB&J without the banana.
Zaz, did Chris think that he invented the peanut
Hold
butter
on a
jelly
second.
sandwich?
It's just PB&J without the banana. Are you saying that are you saying it might be a good idea to have peanut butter and jelly in a bun, essentially bread, but no banana? Is that what you're saying right now?
I prefer it without the banana.
Okay.
Get off my back.
It's a sandwich
No,
that's been
no, I
around
think
for
it's really
1,000
good.
years.
Jessica was talking about diarrhea.
Yeah. Have you altered your eating behavior, Dan? I mean, I know you already have a restrictive diet.
I don't
but
do
what are we
Taco
doing
Bell.
with-
I don't do Taco Bell. For all Mike's buttery bread jokes, I'm not doing Taco Bell.
You would not brandish a taco the way Jeremy is brandishing that banana in a bun. I'm a little stressed out, Dan. I went and got wings yesterday during the France-Spain World Cup match, and they had side celery and carrots. And normally I will dip my little celery in my carrots for a nice refreshing treat between wings, but I'm kind of afraid of raw produce right now.
Wait, so what's
And
going
I'm
on here?
not
What am I
sure-
not supposed to eat?
All right, so Zaz, there are thousands of cases of this parasite called, I believe, Cyclospora nationwide right now, dozens of states, that is causing watery, relentless, explosive diarrhea in people who have it. And according to an article I read today in USA Today, the CDC had a foodborne disease surveillance network that was cut/defunded last summer that did surveillance testing for this parasite, which would, in theory, catch a large outbreak before people could purchase infected items at the store, or, restaurants could purchase them from their suppliers. And so with that gone, it's possible that this outbreak is now as bad as it is because there is not as much surveillance on this parasite. And so we have a situation now where thousands of people are just relentlessly blowing it out the ass. And there's really not that many hints at what it could be caused by. But the prevailing theory is it's probably lettuce.
It could be anything. And for the record, this is all hearsay.
Put it on the poll, please.
I thought my internet was broken for a second.
At Le Batard Show, is watery, relentless, explosive diarrhea redundant 4 different ways?
It was the Democrats holding up a big, beautiful bill.
Speaking of passing of bills, the daylight savings time is going to be permanent. Do we have that right? Zaslow's a big advocate for daylight savings time, one of the biggest nationally you will find anywhere. What is the
Really?
latest? Do you know anything about this, Jessica?
What a fascinating lane for him. I would love to hear more about how that advocacy works. Dan, I feel like every time people are really mad at like the House of Representatives or Congress, they're like, what could we do to kind of take some heat off of us? Okay, let's pass this daylight saving permanent time act that will probably not go through Senate, but why not? It'll make people not talk about all the other terrible things we're doing or not doing, and God only knows what else that could be, preventing parasitic outbreaks and people causing watery diarrhea. The problem with this is that in many parts of the country, the sun would not rise until like 9 o'clock in the winter, which sounds horrible. The upshot is that maybe when you come home from work, if you work like a 9 to 5, it's not already been pitch black for an hour and a half. So I don't know, trade-offs there. But personally, I think daylight savings time should exist to just help me out in whatever job I have at the time. So like when I have a job where I have to wake up early, we need it, and when I don't, then it's fine. And I think that's how it should go for the rest of my life.
Nah, it's enough already. This daylight savings bill, which apparently is going to go to the Senate now, it's been signed off by the president and the House. Now it's just going to be in front of the Senate. It's a brilliant idea. Enough of this fall back, spring forward bullshit, all right? I'm tired of hearing about that. I'm tired of wondering if my alarm clock on my nightstand, if that moved forward on its own, if that's the real time. And I'll tell you what else. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, too. We know that we live in the Lord's time zone, all right? The next step, yeah, that's right. This is the Lord's time zone. Eastern
East
time,
Coast?
this is the Lord's time zone, all right? And matter of fact, the next bill, we're getting rid of this daylight savings garbage. We should all be on the Lord's time zone. That's right.
You
want
this to be China?
Yeah, I want whatever time it is here. That I'm tired of figuring out, how many hours are they behind us? How many hours are they in front of us? No. We're all the same time. So if I have a meeting at 9 a.m., it's 9 a.m. everywhere. No one needs to figure out what your time is. It's about time we all get on the same page.
He's a communist.
You said you wanted to hear his thoughts, and you got them, and you learned as a bonus fact he has an alarm on his nightstand.
I do.
No,
No one has alarm. The
Sure
reason
do.
why this is possible is because now we all have digital devices that know when daylight savings time.
But mine doesn't know. Like, it sets on its own. It's like, this is bullshit. I know that time is not right, and then I have to manually do it. If we get rid of this daylight savings, and if we all get on the same page on the Lord's time zone, no one's ever confused again.
If anything, we should all be on Central Time.
You are showing your South Florida privilege because we did this in 1974 and it lasted 10 months. People didn't like long, dark winters. You don't have to worry about that here in South Florida.
That's right.
Because we don't have winters that are cold. But it lasted 10 months. We already did this 50 years ago.
Whatever. This is what happens when you're the
gotta
main
do it
character.
again. No one remembers that, Dan. Tell us about it, though. What was it like?
Well, I was only 6, so I was hearing about it from my grandparents. It wasn't really
Radio
something.
Mambi?
I wasn't really remembering it. Her podcast is The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. It's unfortunate that Greg Cody left. He could have told us, but
I'm just learning this.
He had to go.
I
and
thought he
so
was in the studio the whole time.
He would have given us some good expertise. Jessica, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Bye.
The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. I was happy to hear the other day that the Golicks were making a return to ESPN Radio. And anything with the Golicks and the father-son team of the Golicks is something that I really like to see because of how respectful Mike Jr. is of his father's career, unlike Chris Cody, for example, who doesn't read his father's columns.
I listen to it.
And has never read his father in any form, even though his father is a writer, and really, I would say, doesn't appreciate reading in general.
That's fair.
I meant to ask Jessica and forgot, even though she's our food expert, if she had any thoughts on the never-ending pasta at Olive Garden, because...
Dan, it is back. For the first time in 6 years since the pandemic, the never-ending pasta is back at Olive Garden. $100 for 13 weeks of never-ending pasta.
What are the limits? Yeah, give it to me.
Can you just show up like every day if you want?
Yeah, you could go every day. I think you can only go once per day. So it's once per day.
What's the time limit on that one visit?
I'm guessing as much as you can eat.
Okay, deal.
It's a good deal. It's unquestionably a good deal, but you're asking immediately about the limits. It said never ending. Don't make it false advertising.
But I've seen a lot. I'm never with Olive Garden, but I've seen, unsurprisingly, a lot of my algorithm is like people doing food stuff. And there's a lot of times where like a guy's doing a selfie video of like, I'm going into this chicken wing joint and I'm going to clean them out. And like, there's a lot of times where at some point, the managers come over and they're like, you'll get one more serving and that's it. Like, there's a lot of funny business with this all-you-can-eat stuff. There are limits.
Now, it's never-ending pasta. What about the breadsticks?
I think those you get for free.
Those are always
right?
never ending.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I've been to Olive Garden. Matter of fact, it was about 20 plus years ago. Dan, you shamed me one time about going to Olive Garden. I'll never forget it. And I'm not even sure that I've been back since then. I love Olive Garden. I think Olive Garden's a great place.
You don't love it that much.
Olive Garden shaming is a thing. My wife does it. She's anti-Olive Garden.
I didn't know about this.
He had a big anniversary, and he was taking his wife to Olive Garden. He didn't know how to be romantic. He doesn't know how to be romantic.
We showed up, okay, on our way out for our big dinner. We decided to stop by. This is like 04, maybe 05. We decided to stop by a remote that the Dan Le Batard Show was doing. I think it was maybe Gulfstream.
You are bad at romance.
Your anniversary?
I think it was maybe Gulfstream. We stopped by to say hello.
We were making $4 an hour.
Yeah, I had to show everybody I'm a team player at this point. You know how much money I was making? It was nothing. We showed up there, we say hello, and Dan asked where we're going tonight. I say we're on our way to Olive Garden, and you shamed me. And you actually said it was Italian Denny's. And we didn't go to Olive Garden that night. We went somewhere else. I don't know if we've been back. I love Olive Garden.
Put it on the poll. Is Olive Garden Italian Denny's? Put it on the poll as well. Is there a lot of funny business going on with the all-you-can-eat stuff? Because Chris is saying that it's always false advertising. They tell you.
Not always. I'm just saying these places do have a limit. Like
I
if
think
you're
talking about mom and pop places.
If you're some like professional eater that comes into this place and like I'm going to eat 150 wings, they will say something.
The question is, did the never-ending shrimp kill Red Lobster?
They're bouncing back.
Yeah,
They're
I've seen their
bouncing
new
back.
CEO all over social.
But are they doing the never-ending shrimp?
I've seen him. Got my eye on it. Let's have something merit-based, like Lindsey Graham's sister.
Your marriage is a miracle.
100 days of never-ending pasta for $100.
13 weeks. So I don't know what that averages out to, but
okay, so 13 weeks. That's a good deal. 4 months of you can eat pasta with a pass at all times every day. You're going to gain a lot of weight. That's a lot of carbs. You're capable of gaining 100 pounds for $100 like that.
Usually it's lose a pound for every dollar you spend. This is gain a pound.
Well, but did you say it's $100 though for an all-you-can-eat pasta pass? That is so affordable that I would shame no one for doing that. That is family-friendly. That is finance-friendly. That is a unbelievable deal to be able to go in with a pass and eat all the pasta that you want for 100 days. In fact, I'd be willing to argue without knowing what the other qualifiers are that has to represent the best deal we've got going these days in eating of any kind. Look, man, my father and I looked at each other the other day because my father was horrified. While he was buying me a cup of coffee, and it cost me $9. It cost him $9.50 because I didn't have my wallet on me, and he hadn't just bought a cup of coffee in a while, and so he was just stunned.
It wasn't the order of 40 different things into one coffee that confused him.
It was just coffee with oat milk. It's all it was.
That was just those two things.
Yes, that's all it was. It was $9.50. So when you tell me, you're saying $100.
I'm going to give you exactly what they had. So from the official Olive Garden website, what you'll get, your very own pasta pass. So you get like a little card.
The card.
Unlimited dine-in value starting at $8.24 Kobe Day for 13 weeks of never-ending pasta. Never-ending first course of soup and salad and breadsticks also.
What?
So you get soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Yeah, but you got to skip that. You're gonna fill up, you know?
That's a trick. He's so right. They kind of get you with that.
You got 13 weeks to figure it out.
That's what Sweet Tomatoes did with that salad buffet.
That is true, actually. Unlimited plates of your favorite never-ending pasta bowl creations. Unlimited toppings so you can switch up each bowl so you always meet your protein goals. Protein's above all.
That's what it's about. This deal's about protein.
Yeah, a passport to stamp as you work your way through every never-ending pasta bowl. The same great price for $100.
Again, this is Tony describing 9/11.
So we had an insane, just unbelievable,
quite a bit
thing that was so terrible, right? And you got the weight of the world on you.
You're talking about 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you walk up. There's some people that don't know about 9/11. They learned it in history.
Everyone knows about it.
Not everybody knows about it.
You know what? Let's just keep it moving.
I could have been talking about the Olive Garden pasta pass. I don't know.
Thought it was very helpful.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that kind of thing.
Jeremy, what is the final verdict on the hot dog banana with peanut butter and jelly?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask about my top 5. It was delicious. I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I want to ask the group whether they'd prefer a top 5 from Jeremy on his All-Star Game moments or a top 5 from Tony. We only have time for one of these. A top 5 from Tony.
This is tough.
Top 5 quarterbacks that need to show him something. Which, can I get some votes? Zaz, who are you voting for, Jeremy or Tony?
Not Jeremy.
Roy, who are you voting for, Jeremy or Tony?
Not Jeremy.
Mike, who are you voting for, Jeremy or Tony?
I abstain.
Well, that can. Chris, who are you voting? I'm voting for Jeremy. Chris, who are you voting for? You can either tie, and then we've got a problem when we have to go to the abstainer, or you can just close the voting.
Can't leave this to bit. Tony.
Wow, how much must Dan hate you?
So we're going to get to Tony's top 5 list of top 5 quarterbacks that need to show Tony something. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody that we are on in more places than we have ever been. So if you want our podcast, you could do that, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can also get our radio show as a radio show, Sirius XM Channel 85. If you want the televised product, it's Peacock, NBC Sports Now, Monday through Friday from 12 to 3 Eastern, and on YouTube Live. And also DraftKings Network, Samsung TV Plus, the Roku channel, Vizio Watch Free Plus. But Mike has something for Peacock. We're on Peacock. We're on NBC Sports Now. And Mike has a request for Peacock. The bosses at Peacock, I want you to please listen to Mike Ryan. He is imploring you. He is begging you. You need to do something with your programming.
This is with the caveat that this streamer remains free. But I am a soccer fan. And no one in sports consuming has a more difficult plight than the soccer fan in order to follow the sport globally. You have to have about 15 streamers. ESPN is no longer the home of the Bundesliga, and I love the German Bundesliga. I watch it all the time. I was very excited to see that NBC Universal has agreed to terms with the Bundesliga. That means 30 live matches on USA Network, which is a great home for soccer. But they have found an unconventional home for the rest of the package. That's just 30 matches. That's barely anything. Fandango. NBC Universal owns Fandango. Presently, a free option for a service. But if this is no longer remaining free, you're spreading me thin here, folks. I can't have yet another streamer.
Fandangos? Like these games are gonna be in the movie theater?
Although I would be there for Stuttgart-Wolfsburg, I don't think it's for the movie theater.
My movie theater sells pickles.
I associate
$2.99.
I associate Fandango with just movie theaters.
Did you know that they had a streaming service?
I did not.
So that might be the play here. And I'm not sure how Fandango and Bundesliga mesh. It may be a great home, and it may be just as good as ESPN, which I thought did a tremendous job with it. But please, put some Peacock options up there. NBC Sports on the YouTube TV channel. I need more access to the Bundesliga. If this is going behind a paywall, I am already signing up for never-ending Postables. Help me out here.
I would like Fandango to televise this show because it's Fan-Dan-Go. The middle word in Fandango is always Dan. We've got a slogan and everything. How do we get on Fandango with the Bundesliga?
We can be shoulder programming. I can talk Bundesliga. I just didn't know that this was going to be a sporting destination. In fact, it's never been. So this is quite the tentpole attraction. I'm a little confused by it. I don't know what the whole plan here is with Fandango. This is bizarre.
I'll join you on the broadcast if you'd like.
I don't. In fact, I omit everything that I said from the record.
So when you talk about the amount of money being spent on streamers, I pointed out to you guys the other day, I don't know if you're watching Marlins baseball. They're worth watching. It's not just because they're stealing bases. Also, no one can steal bases against them. And I was telling you that for the rest of the season, you're going to get, if you buy the rest of the season for $27.99, you get all Marlins games for less than 50 cents a game. That's clearly a value right up until you have 7,000 things that you're paying 50 cents for. Are you watching Marlins games?
I've started watching, yep. A few weeks ago I started watching.
Okay, because less than 50 cents a game, if I tell any fan of any sport, hey, it will cost you less than 50 cents to watch this, they would all say yes, except for the fact that it is now getting so difficult to do this if you're a sports fan, because you're going to have an assortment of charges that make your life difficult and expensive if you want to watch everything you want to watch. This is quality baseball the Marlins are playing, and you will get less than 50 cents a game. You can watch these games. But I don't know what's too much anymore for people if you're going to charge people for all of their interests, because that's not how we had to do it before. We'd get it on free television. We'd get it on ESPN. We wouldn't have to do it this way, and it's becoming prohibitive. I feel really bad for the sports fan. You simply cannot do this if you do not have money, even if it's less than 50 cents a game.
Well, and all of our teams now here locally are on their own service now, like all of them.
It feels like the sports fan has really been done dirty on this, the way that this has all happened. Like the sports fan has been thought of last, and as everyone's grabbing the new oil wells, this feels super unfair to keep changing. What I was telling you earlier in the show about Howard Stern and the idea of going behind a paywall and not wanting to do that to our fans, where you're having something that used to be free and then charging people for it. You will lose the loyalty of people if you do something like that. You can't make it free first, not have it be a trial period, and then just switch the rules as you go.
Yeah, Don Garber is giving voice to the mistake that they made, not being mature enough. I think when we look back on it, MLS made one of the big gaffes in sports history.
Heat games are going to be free, and you just have to be real careful with the loyalty. You will lose even the ardent loyalty that there is in sports. You've heard me say before, our audience is as loyal as any I've ever seen in the history of sports media, and I did not want to test that loyalty with a paywall, even though at the times, as it would have been the moral thing for the audience to do, which is, wait a minute, the ESPN, the big corporate giant, let go of Chris Cody. We ride with them. I didn't want to test it with a paywall because I've seen what's happened to newspapers with just subscription services. There's no information that people are now willing to pay for. None. It's nobody is willing to, who doesn't already value newspapers. There's no one story that's making people pay a subscription service in order to get whatever the story is that is the unique information. Everyone stops now at the paywall.
Now, we are behind some paywall services, but our YouTube is free, our podcast remains free. We're easily accessible. We are not exclusive to being behind a paywall. We are part of paywall premium experiences. We've had offers in the years, as Dan mentioned, to go exclusively behind paywall, and I don't think we're there. That might, I don't want to write it off entirely. That day may come where it makes sense for us. There's a lot of big properties that have made that move, and I like to think that they're cashing in. We see an opportunity to continue growing as a visual product because we primarily, for the majority of our 20 years, have lived between the ears as an audio platform. We haven't really built out the video, so we're going to keep climbing there.
The offense, though, that sports fans should feel about being priced out of everything is a mirror for everything that's happening in society, with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, and everything being not affordable, less affordable, or a different kind of affordable as it's ever been. I don't feel like the warning was sufficient from these leagues or from anybody. Hey, sports fan, you're about to get gouged from every angle as everyone grabs more dollars.
I can't believe my Bundesliga topic kept us away from both top fives.
Well, it's in the post game. I just asked Tony while we were talking. I asked Tony if we had enough time for his top five, and he said, no, just put it in the post game. I wanted to be fair to Tony. So play again for us how he described 9/11.
So we had just an insane, just unbelievable,
quite a bit
thing that was so terrible, right? And you got the weight of the world on you.
You're talking about 9/11.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you walk up. There's some people that don't know about 9/11. They learned it in history.
Everyone knows about it.
Not everybody knows about it.
You know what? Let's just keep it moving.
So we had. What are you laughing at?
You.
What are you laughing at? Sitting over there. Weapons.
I mean, you can't brandish a butter knife. It's a butter knife. You're not.
You can poke an eye with that thing.
No, but a brandishing. If you're brandishing something, I picture Indiana Jones waving something at snakes, a torch at snakes. Like if you're brandishing something, you're moving. It can't be a butter knife. Tony's top five next, not Jeremy's. What is the Nick Bobic?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobic. Banana Bofic. Me, my Momic. Nick.
Rosanna, Banana, Rosanna, Banana, Rosanna, Banana.
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna, Banana,
who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Let's go States.
Banana.
We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. Don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on? Do you like
dangling?
Breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
sexy
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many times.
A little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Intimate.
Dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
sexy
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humps.
You never know.
I've been dry humps.
Many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
You ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out.
Hoo-wah!
Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
you should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APAC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No. You're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's a few
That's
good
the one I
men,
bought.
and that's a few good men.
Good answer. Good answer.
And it's not, you're not man enough to know the truth. I
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
It's a different movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-libbed.
Put it on the poll
that
at
was
Le
Nicholson.
Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who
Dad
said
on a hot
in what
tin roof.
movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think
Yes.
he won an Oscar
Yes, he
for
won
this.
Best Actor.
Yes.
Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Put it on the
Raging
poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
Raging
No.
It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in a Dolphin.
I say it all the time.
No, but it's been for 30 years. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to tell him what the movie is. Keep guessing, Greg. Keep trying to guess what the Al Pacino movie. How many Oscars has Pacino won? Because he
A Few Good Men.
You already guessed that, and we already told you that it's not A Few Good Men.
Okay.
And you're not man enough to handle the truth.
Right. Okay.
Classic line.
It's got a military theme to it. I just can't come up with a
It's
name.
not a military theme, but I think he's a former military guy.
Okay, that,
He was a colonel.
There you go. Colonel Sanders. I don't know. I'm never going to get it. I don't know movies.
Wow, it's his only Academy Award.
The
Greg doesn't know
Scent
movies.
of a
Woman. See? I told you I was going to get it.
Your son had no idea where that sound
Where I
was
get it
from.
from.
This is two generations of idiot. Pop culture idiot.
I knew it was Al Pacino.
Greg, you cannot listen to
De
what you
Niro.
just did for the last 4 minutes and say that that is some sort of expertise that you're bragging about.
First of all, I speak for moviegoers in general. Al Pacino and De Niro are always interchangeable. They're always mistaken for each other. They're the same person.
De Niro could not have been the devil.
They've won the same awards. They're like the same people.
They were only in one scene together, like in their movie careers.
I know, but they're parallel lives. And you know it.
Put it on the poll. Do you often confuse De Niro and Pacino, and you know it? At Le
And you
Batard
know it.
Show.
You're going to have to wait for that one.
Exactly.
That was staggering. Even by the standards of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, where your son Michael asks you movie questions and you flail and fail and get them all wrong. Even by those standards, that was an amazing amount of ignorance.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now.
Win.
Okay. So
Jordan
but
Love.
he's not even going to be able to show. Neither one of these people are going to be able to show you anything during the regular season. The first 17 games, they're not going to show you anything. You're going to tell. You're saying, show me something in January.
I'm saying show me something this season.
How is he higher than Dak Prescott when his signature win is at Dak Prescott?
Because if you look at Jordan Love's numbers, they're not great. He had 2 300-yard games last year. Like, the offense is not that good, right? They run the ball a lot. He got this, $250 million contract, and he kind of looked like Malik Willis was better in certain aspects of the game.
The aspects of not throwing the football.
Number 4, Justin Herbert. All the tools, but are you ready to be adult in the room? That's my question. Are you ready to be the adult in the room for the LA Chargers? Number 3, Jaden Daniels. Don't be RG3.
What?
Yeah, don't be RG3.
What?
Yeah, don't be RG3. It's really easy. Had an incredible rookie year, a hurt second year. Like, are you going to step up and be the guy that we think you are? Or are you going to be hurt again and you're not going to be that good?
I'm with you.
Thank you, Saz. This guy knows ball, dude. Number 2, Lamar Jackson.
These are all good quarterbacks.
They are good quarterbacks, but they need to show me something.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson started 1-5 in 25, ended 2-4. If I asked you, how many 300-yard games did Lamar Jackson have last year? What would your accent be?
Jesus, Tony.
I mean, Roy said something in the middle of it. It's hard for me to talk when Roy's talking.
Number 1, I would say not many.
0. He had 0 300-yard games Lamar Jackson did last year. Number 1, Joe Burrow. All the tools, all the weapons. The AFC's finally opening up. And what are you going to do? You going to do something? Show me something, Joe Burrow.
All right. I would say that all of them would ask you to show them something when it requires speech.
Yeah, it's easy to talk when nobody else is talking.
Juju is here now. Juju, do you have a top 5 list, Juju?
Yes, sir, man. You asked for it earlier in the show. The top 5 sports scandals of all time that I can think of, my boys. Number 5. Matter of fact, I got an OLI because we can't leave out little sis. Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harder. Tanya, girl, what the hell is wrong with you?
That was a good one. That was mentioned earlier by somebody. That's a pretty good one. The Olympics, figure skating, cheating. Jeff Galooly, excellent work by Zaslow recalling that name. Is that OLI, or you said that was number 5?
Yes, sir. That's an OLI guy. Number 5, we're going to kick it to New Orleans for Bounty Gate. Come on, man. You can't be putting money on injuries for people here. That's somebody's granddaddy. That's somebody's daddy right there.
Cut the head off the snake.
Number 4, cheating ass Tim Donaghy from the NBA.
It's a good one.
Come on, bro. Can you imagine if that happened these days? Boy, DraftKings Sports is available in 50 states, fellas. Number 3, Ohtani and Ipe. Free my boy Ipe right now until it's backwards, dog. Because, man, please, I still don't believe it. What you think, Zaz?
You know about that fall guy, Dan?
You believe that's a fall guy situation? Because Ohtani came out of that totally clean.
Yeah, he's clueless where his money is. All right.
Number 2, Chauncey Billups and the La Costa Nostra. Can't leave out Terry Rozier. Can't leave out my boy LeBron, little homeboy. I forgot his name. Can't leave him out, though. You did. And the number 1 sports scandal of all time, no play on The Voice, Penn State. Come on, get him out of here.
Just for the record, because I looked it up, Tony, Jordan Love in 2025, 5th overall in PFF overall grade, 3rd in PFF passing grade, 2nd in total EPA, 2nd in EPA per play, 1st in EPA versus man coverage.
Yeah, what'd he do?
5th lowest interception rate
And
of
what'd he do?
any full-time starter last season.
What'd he do?
And we got rid of the EPA.
Tony, I'm sorry, Juju.
Yes?
Any haters that you want to point out on
Dan?
Any haters that you want to point out? I don't want to go to Tony again. I'm
Yes,
gonna-
my
I'm
haters,
not
you,
gonna-
Dan.
Tony, give me all your thoughts on 9/11.
Well,
No. Juju, he gets the ball.
Yes, for sure. I got a hater, man. My brother Chet Holmgren, but I ain't never seen my boy post about soccer one time in life. And we know the French Wemby just put a boot to his ass in the playoffs. Yesterday after Spain's win, Chet Holmgren talking about shout out to Spain, shout out to Lamine Yamal. That kid is a problem. I see the hate in your blood, my brother.
You think
You
that's
hilarious.
Wemby? You think that's Wemby related? You think he's just going after France because he died?
I'm considering it now.
Exactly. I ain't never seen my boy watch a soccer ball. Never. But salute the Chet, man. Get well soon, brother.
Before we get out of here, we'll get to the polls in just a second here with Juju. But, Mike, I want to make sure to give you time because we did not talk nearly enough. I think because we were so deflated by how France-Spain went, it took some of the air out of the ball. England and Argentina have a chance to get us back to where it is we were before Spain took some of the air out of the ball on France. But let's get to the polls here before we conclude our World Cup coverage.
Okay, I'll hold.
For the day. At Le Batard Show is where you vote on the polls. It felt like we had a ton of them today.
Yes, sir. Was Spain Imodium to France? 95% of the audience says yes, they were.
Banger.
Do you use Imodium? 80% of the audience says no, they do not.
Banger.
Oh, damn. Lower scoring sports, soccer or golf?
This is big.
58% of the audience says soccer.
Banger.
Has Peyton Manning ever done anything funnier than throw footballs at those children? 91% of the audience says, no, my boy has not.
Banger.
Damn. Does Groot say more words than Kawhi? 95% of the audience says, yes, he does.
Banger.
Is a third place game un-American? 82% of the audience says, yes, it is.
Banger.
So, too bad America's not in the tournament. Should the third place game Should the third place game be called, oh shit, nobody cares? 90% of the audience says, yes, it should.
Banger.
The shit bowl. Is watery, relentless, explosive diarrhea redundant 4 times? 74% of the audience says, yes, it is.
Banger.
Is Olive Garden Italian Denny's? 80% of the audience says, yes, it is.
Banger.
Oui. Is there funny business going on with all Hooked on phonics, ladies and gentlemen. Get you some. Is there funny business going on with all-you-can-eat buffets?
Another big one.
88% of the audience says yes, it is.
Banger.
And last poll, can you brandish a butter knife? 61% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
Banger.
Thank you, Juju. Before we get out of here for the day, and we will have some more morally abhorrent coverage for you tomorrow in the post game. But before we get out of here for the day, I do want to talk a little bit about the history of the countries involved in this rivalry between Argentina and England. I went and looked it up because I left the show yesterday after somebody asked me here, has Argentina had a black player before? And I'm like, ever? Of course they have, ever. And then as I was driving home, I'm thinking to myself, but have they? And so I looked it up. Twice. Once every half century, they have a black player. They had one in 1920 and they had one in 1970. Famously racist history in Argentina. And their fans are fighting people, and we have a lot of stuff happening around the game that isn't about the game. Argentina will not take well if the defending champion Messi gets knocked out by England. Mike, what are you most excited about watching today? What is it that's most interesting to you here?
If England can get to the final and have a shot at a second star. All my life I've been hearing about England and their pursuit of a World Cup championship. And I said when they won at Azteca, I think that is enough of a mental boost to push them through. But their path here, the extreme weather conditions that they've played in Azteca and then at Miami Stadium, I'm sure nobody's more happy than them to be in a dome.
Today.
This is a great international rivalry where, as yesterday, the game was probably a little disappointing because of France's reputation and the stars on the pitch. You wanted to see maybe a little bit more action. Even if today is cagey, there's going to be so much tense drama because these are international rivals. They clashed already in Atlanta. I actually saw a video of them clashing in Miami a few days ago before this matchup was set. So much great history. We got into it. Hand of God, David Beckham's red card. The fact that, surprisingly enough, this is Messi's first ever opportunity at playing the English. Wow. The path that the English national team has taken just to get to this moment is a murderer's row, where Argentina kind of charmed draw so far. I really cannot wait for this match. It's going to be intense. The atmosphere in Atlanta is going to be electric. This is going to be great theater.
Do you think it's fair to say, and this is novice analysis, but do you think it's fair to say, given the paths of both teams, given that Argentina has had to squeak by three, what are supposed to be three lesser opponents, do you think it's fair to say that you wouldn't be surprised at all if England blew out Argentina, but you would be surprised if Argentina blew out England?
Dan, I don't know what's going to happen here. I think England win. In the end, I could see it being a scoreless draw. I could see both teams scoring. I've got no idea what happens here. That's part of the appeal to this, is who's going to rise to the moment. Is there a lot to take into the mental edge England has acquired through their DR Congo, Mexico Azteca experience and having to battle back 1 goal down against Norway? Has Argentina kind of mastered being able to be in these rock fights and still find a way to pull through? Both teams are dog-tired. England's dealt with more elements, but they both have played a lot of football here. Cannot wait to see it. I believe in Leo Messi. He's always the guy for that team. Jude Bellingham has always been the guy this World Cup. He and Harry Kane have been monsters in the attacking sense and defensively. Great theater. Declan Rice is also back. He got over a stomach bug.
It feels like England to me. I could see England winning by a couple of goals. And look, it really does seem to be a thing with soccer compared to the other sports that we cover most of the time here, where, you know, the extracurricular stuff, the stuff you can't quantify, people seem to think it matters. You know, we heard with the Flo Balogun stuff, with the red card, that the U.S. felt a lot of pressure and it hurt them. And it really seems like this England team, where they went into, you know, Estadio Azteca and they won there, that's a little bit of an extra boost for them. It feels like England to me.
I just don't know how it is that stuff transfers, because you can tell me England has all sorts of metal, but I gave you all the stats on Messi. Like, It's absurd what he's doing. So, like, you can tell me mentally tough winning in Mexico, sure, but they're not playing Messi in Mexico. Like, they're playing against Messi, and I don't know how you doubt that guy when he's the only redeeming thing I've seen from Argentina in the entire tournament. They don't deserve to be defending champions. Like, they are not playing like defending champions.
But if they find themselves in the final, we all know the reason why. And you cannot say with a straight face the team with the best player arguably ever doesn't belong.
Folks, listen up. As they said, the cup is down to its final matches, and the DraftKings Sports has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states, and that includes all markets, bringing you the action straight to your fingertips. No matter where you are, you are in on the excitement at the speed of sports. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code DAN. Spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code DAN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.